Tarantula hawk.
If you ever see one of these things flying around, you're like, what the hell?
Is this a common insect in Texas?
In far west Texas, yeah. But you gotta watch out because they don't always travel alone. I've been followed by one, then I realized there's about 4 of them, and they're kind of circling me, and I'm like,
You have just fueled my nightmares.
Thank you for that.
They found him face down in his waffles, maple syrup dripping from his fake roll. Who did he see when he heard who was there? Now it's
Everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, February the 22nd, 2022. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Hey, howdy, folks.
Howdy, folks.
There's a reason I'm wearing the hat. We'll get into
Yeah,
that.
we'll get to that. There's a reason I'm wearing the hat I'm wearing, too.
Yeah, there is.
We'll get to that later,
You
too.
disappeared for a few days.
Yeah, off grid.
But it is, it's National Margarita Day. I think I've got
That's what I
enough. I think I've got enough tequila for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm making a margarita. So I've just got done squeezing the limes. And we're going to put in, this is the way I like to make them. I do about 4 ounces of the white tequila.
Mm-hmm.
Man, when you get a bottle this big, it kind of gives your forearms a workout. Not for the reason you usually give your forearms a workout.
Right.
I like some people who Cointreau. I like one Grand Marnier.
There you go.
And then
Like-
a little bit of what you call it? Simple syrup.
A little bit of simple syrup.
Just a little
Okay.
bit, not too much.
There you go.
You squirt that in there.
And I got to ask you, why are you making a margarita right now?
I said it's National Margarita Day.
Oh, you did.
And happy National Margarita
I just
Day.
wanted you to say it again because I didn't put the thing
Oh,
up.
because you put the thing up. I'm like, well, you're not listening?
Yeah, of course I was. So happy National Margarita Day. That's really loud.
Is that
Try not to
really
shake
good
it in front of the microphone. There you
The
go.
microphone's over there. I mean, I'd
Still in
have to,
front of the microphone. Yeah.
it
That's
makes
better.
much of a difference. So put it over
At
there.
least it's not saying somebody on the video game saying, "Oh my God," really loud.
No, that's already happened.
Another story.
Another story for
story,
another
yeah,
day.
We have a comment already
Ooh.
from Ellen Drader says, "Hey from the Mahjong Mavens."
Oh, I guess our guest is going to have to explain that one to us.
No.
I suspect-
I can explain it to you.
Oh, you can explain that one.
I can explain
okay,
it to
you
you.
can explain that one.
Yes.
I know what Mahjong is. You don't explain Mahjong.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, there's a group of women playing mahjong right now, and whatchamacallit, they're over there watching the show apparently. And,
Is one of them the person you were with when you bought that hat?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, indeed. So, anyway,
So John's got a hat that says Turkey Hill Dairy on it.
exactly. Hey from the Log Room Guys to the Mahjong Mavens. There you go. Enjoy your night tonight. There you go. Yes, I got a hat from the Turkey Hill Dairy, which I was actually at yesterday. So,
You were. I saw that.
there you go.
Catching flies.
Yes.
Yes.
Lots of
So it's the beginning of Jess's birthday month.
them. Yes, it is.
And him and Jess have the thing that when they take selfies is,
Right.
and we all make fun of them when they do it.
Because we're catching flies with
Because
our
they're catching
mouth.
flies.
Right.
So you like this? You like the garnish?
I love the garnish. It's a
I
very nice
actually,
margarita.
I actually,
It's well
I
done.
actually finally remembered to actually cut a slice before I juiced the limes.
There you go. Very nice. It looks delicious. Has to taste.
That works. That's one of my better margaritas.
Oh, you know what? I actually got a crawl for you. Here you go. There you go. Margaritas.
Margaritas. Actually, I wish I'd made enough for 2 because it's also 22, right?
Exactly. Happy 2/22/22 day. Happy
On Tuesday.
Exactly.
And
And
I saw-
at 2:22 this afternoon.
I saw a lot of people post stuff up at 2:22. This
Right at
afternoon.
2:22. Sure.
Yeah.
Everybody jumped on. It was like I'm shocked Facebook didn't go down at 2:22.
With everyone posting that.
Yeah. So anyway, well, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Right. Exactly. So.
But I'm more interested in being
All right.
National Margarita.
National Margarita Day. Well, you're drinking a drink with tequila in it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you're wearing a cowboy hat. So
I'm wearing a cowboy hat. And we said that we'd explain there's a reason for it.
you want to explain it first, or should we just let
Well,
everybody realize when we bring
we
our
know-
guest on?
We know tequila comes from Mexico.
Mexico, right?
Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have a guest tonight who has who's been on the show before. And if you're
Couple
paying
times.
attention, he He spends a bit of time either close to or in Mexico, and his nickname actually, believe it came while he was in Mexico.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's bring on the little scorpion.
Let's bring on Alacran. Welcome to the show, Mr. Tony Drewry. How are you, sir?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Yes. Hey, I'm good. I'm having a good day. It's a beautiful day in the Chihuahuan Desert.
Oh yeah, well, so John's going to pop up the photo that Tony sent to us just to get the two of us jealous as hell.
I will put it up right now. This is the view right now from the porch where Tony is in the building where Tony is sitting right there. There you go.
Yeah,
that's the view.
That does not suck.
No, not at all. Not really. Yeah,
that's some beauty.
Amazing.
That's the Chisos Mountains in Big Bend National Park. But probably
really nice.
15 miles away from where we.
That's only 15 miles.
15 miles away.
That's beautiful.
So you're out again in far west Texas?
I am. And hey, if you put that photo up one more time, I'll show you something in it.
Yeah, go for it. There you go.
It's kind of cool. That in a sense is Emery Peak, and that is the highest point in Big Bend National Park, and the second highest peak in Texas.
Nice. So, what's the highest peak in Texas?
Just under 8,000 feet elevation.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's beautiful. The mountain is beautiful, and that view is beautiful. It's crazy.
Come visit, and I'll take you up to the top.
Yeah.
I mean, I just got a sudden urge to climb that sucker.
Yeah, I want to kind of.
Yeah.
It's not as hard as you think.
That works for me because if it is as hard as I think, I'm not climbing it. So let's put it that way.
I think the highest mountain I've climbed was about 5,300, and that was the tallest mountain in New York State.
Hey, but what elevation did you start from? That's a big.
That's always a big thing. Started at 2,000, so it's a 3,300 foot climb.
3,000 feet elevation get a lot in one day.
Yeah,
if you don't do it all the time. Hey, I like your hat, by the way.
Yeah, this is well. I had to wear this hat. I got this last time I was down in Florida. My son and I were out geocaching, and we're out near the Everglades, and there's this truck stop there. We stopped in for some hydration, and I saw this hat, and it's like $10 for this hat. Hell yeah! So I came home with.
They came home with a hat.
With a hat, but it's also it's made in Mexico.
Very nice.
Got the Made in Mexico sticker. Right? See, it's right there. Yeah,
perfect. And now it does again.
It does again. There we go. Perfect.
Highest elevation I ever claimed.
Claimed?
I ever claimed to
climb. Claimed to climb.
Yes. I ever climbed. I was actually I hiked up to in Nederland, Colorado, 8,236 feet. Nice. I started at 8,235 feet though. So I climbed that extra. Extra foot, and got the steps up to the top of the steps, walking into the coffee place.
Oh, I actually forgot. I climbed Mount Washington.
Which Washington?
Mount Washington in New Hampshire, which is it's the highest peak in the northeastern United States. It's 6,288.
Nice.
And we started down around 2,000.
Right.
That was a
4,000 feet.
That's
a long day.
That's pretty good hike. That's pretty good.
That's a long day.
Took about what? Took about an hour and a half.
Yeah, plus a little. Give or take about 5.
There you go. All right. You guys are drinking already. I'm gonna open a beer. What are you know what?
Yeah,
Tony, what are you drinking? I'll throw yours up again.
Fisting it right now.
I got your crawl. Well,
I'm starting out with
leaving that one
Crispy
alone.
by Nature.
Crispy by Nature. There it is.
False Idol
Brewing in
It's
North
one of my
Richland
favorite
Hills.
new breweries, and they're actually in North Richland Hills. It's just on the northeast side of Fort Worth.
Very nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
My buddy Will Perry is the brewer there. He's I've known him for years in the business. He's brewed for people. He used to brew for Trinity Brewing up in Colorado Springs.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I've known him. He came from Oklahoma. Did that stint for a little while. Now he brews just about every style of beer that you can think of, and I ain't had a bad. So
That's awesome. I love brewers that can brew every style of beer. More on that later. Well, actually, we talked about it a couple weeks ago anyway, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
Cool. There you go. Samurai, what are you drinking besides the margarita?
I've actually. It's funny. When I go into liquor stores, of course, we're hitting all the craft breweries, looking at the local stuff usually, then expand out from there. And back in the day, before we had all these craft breweries in the U.S., I would hit the import sections hard. So I've gotten kind of back into the habit of looking into the import sections and grabbing some stuff. So there's going to be a little theme today, and I've got a Żywiec Baltic Porter.
Żywiec Baltic Porter. There it is.
I'm starting off with a margarita.
It's a very very
and a
strange
Baltic Porter.
to pair with a margarita.
I like
extremely,
that.
extremely. But it's 500 liters of a 9.5% lager.
500 liters?
500 milliliters. Sorry.
Milliliters.
500 liters.
You're drinking 500-liter bottle.
And I'm going to wash it all down with the tequila. I need a chaser for this bottle.
I'll write that down.
Damn,
500 liters of beer you're drinking tonight. There you go.
I'm actually
And that's
quite
just your
happy with
first
this
beer.
margarita. That's just my first beer.
There you go.
The second one's a 500 milliliter strong dark lager, also from Poland.
A strong dark lager.
Yeah, well, my roots are in Poland, so.
He did text me 500 milliliters. I said he did text me 500 milliliters. I was going to look.
I was going to
call him out on his mistake
there.
Typed it right, said it wrong.
500-liter bottle. That's great. How much did that run you?
Well, this is Polish beer. It was like $7.
$7 for the 500-liter. So anyway, all right.
I think I told you. When I first rated, I didn't rate it that high, and I think I did it dirty because this is actually a damn good drinker for 9.5. I gotta say that.
I'll talk about a Baltic Porter I had over the weekend in a little bit too.
Yeah, you did some stuff over the weekend.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But the beer I'm gonna have right now. I'll throw it up right here. That's yours. I'll throw mine up. It happens.
It
happens. It's a New Zealand Pils.
Why is it? It.
Well, the other version would be shit happens. This is it happens. It's a collab. It's a collab between Alternate Ending Beer Company in Aberdeen, New Jersey, and Icarus. Jason and those guys that we know down in Lakewood.
Lakewood.
Yep. They're moving, by the way. Did we talk about that?
I've heard they're moving.
They are moving. They're in the process. It's going to take a little while. They're moving to Brick. So they're going to be in Brick, New Jersey.
Not into a brick.
They're not moving into a brick.
It's Bricktown, New Jersey.
Right. And they already bought the building. They're working on it right now. So
yeah, I saw Al Gattola was there yesterday with Jason.
Yes, he was.
Yesterday was a Sunday.
No, it was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
did I mention I'm really happy with this margarita?
You did not. Cheers.
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 Wow, that's pretty damn good.
Oh, Alternate Ending does
New Zealand Pils. So Alacron and I are drinking Pilsners, and you're drinking a Baltic Porter.
Yep.
With a margarita chaser.
With a margarita.
It might be. I started off with the porter.
It might be the other way around.
No, I started off with the
Baltic Porter with a margarita chaser.
Yeah, you had it right the first time.
Hey, I'm going to do some of this too.
There you go.
Okay, now tell the audience
talk about
this
that
is. Name it and tell us what this tequila is. And I'll tell you what I texted him. I texted him.
It is not
I really
tequila
wish I was
at all.
surprised. Oh, it's not tequila.
It's mezcal.
It's not tequila. It is made
mezcal.
from a plant that grows here in the northern Chihuahuan desert. Technically, tequila is also mezcal.
Oh, that's true.
Yes. But this is a mezcal, but it is only the sotol is unique. Then it's only made from the sotol plant they grow here in the Chihuahuan desert, and it's only sotol if it's made in Chihuahua, Durango, or Coahuila. So in states in Mexico, they make this stuff. This is where this plant grows, and it's not an agave at all. It's actually more closely related to the artichoke. But this one's cool because it has. This one's cool because it has rattlesnake venom in it. Salute.
It has rattlesnake venom in it.
Yeah. So he texted me this. My reply back to him was like, "I really wish I was surprised that you were drinking this, but I am not at all surprised that Alacron is drinking."
Oh,
I would imagine by now you're pretty much immune to rattlesnake venom. But what about the people that aren't? How do they fare on that?
Well, it's if you get that venom injected in your veins, you're gonna have a hard time. But if you it's distilled, it's diluted, and it goes through your body the other way, it actually might have some healing properties. Who knows?
Interesting thought.
I just hear a puppy?
That's my dog drinking water out here. Lazy Daisy.
Lazy Daisy. Lazy Daisy.
Pretty much everything Daisy does makes a lot of noise.
Daisy's been on the show before, correct?
Oh yeah, no, she definitely has. Whether we intended for her to be or not, yes.
Yeah, I have one of those in the apartment as well, but it's not a dog.
I was actually telling my buddy just a few minutes ago that when I recorded some music out here, we did it inside of my RV on a day that was really windy outside, and the guy didn't want to record. I'm like, no, the wind is part of all these songs. But Daisy's in there the whole time too, so like you can actually hear this loud dog like in the background of the music on these tracks.
That's awesome.
That's great. Gotta love it.
She's part of the story too, man.
It dawned on me that usually we start the show with me eating something.
Yeah, and I
didn't have anything to eat.
You didn't have anything to eat. So now what are you eating?
I'm eating lime. That was my drink.
Are you eating your lime?
Man, this guy. Hey, we got to work on these pairings, man.
Yeah, exactly. Tom would not be proud of you.
That's what water is for. So. I gotta cleanse between.
Exactly.
It's either that or I could just drink straight tequila in between. That'll help cleanse.
Hey, what kind of tequila are you drinking? Is that Juarez?
There's a reason I'm not really showing the label because it's just like this is what I use for mixing. This will give you an idea of how many margaritas I plan to drink this summer.
There you go.
Well, that stuff's good for margaritas.
Well, yeah, exactly.
You don't want to sit around and sip on that stuff as is. But
at least you didn't get like a bottle of Montezuma for like $5 to make your margaritas with.
I hear that stuff makes you go blind.
Just looking at it, not even drinking it.
No, I've got a Herrador white añejo over there. Añejo Blanco.
Here you go.
But I'm not mixing with that.
Yeah.
That's a nice sipping tequila for me. I usually have like better tequila, but not recently.
Gotcha.
There's a place in Denville that you can go to if you really like tequila. Denville, New Jersey. It's called Chico's. He's got over 150 tequilas. He's got over 100 mezcals as well. And if you are one of those crazy son of a bitches that like eating the scorpion, no offense, Alacon, he does carry scorpion. And if you finish the bottle, you are allowed to eat the scorpion.
You should go on my TikTok channel and watch the snake juice we drank in Oaxaca. The snake is still in the jug.
Snake is still in the jug, and you're drinking the snake juice. There you go.
Oh yeah. Well, it's the stuff with it's the vibra, like the one with the venom in it, but also they cure it with the snake in the jug.
There's
gotta love it.
There's also one that they do.
You don't have to eat it though. That's the best part.
There's the Viper rum where they have the Viper in there. There's also one where they do the rattlesnake testicles or this rattlesnake penis or something like that they put into it. I watched too many episodes of Three Sheets and all the strange ass stuff that they did.
Hey, you guys should just come down to Chihuahua with me on a little run.
I absolutely have to.
Had to do that.
I've seen the blueprints of the patterns of the universe.
There you go.
What's up down?
The nuttiest thing I've ever drank is didn't have anything to do with snakes or scorpions at all.
Yeah, nutty was a pun.
Nutty was a pun. Yeah, exactly. It was the Rocky Mountain Oyster Stout from Wynkoop. So, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No,
it came in a 2-pack.
It came in a 2-pack. Yeah, it was a 2-pack. Yeah,
which is appropriate for today.
So
I've actually shotgunned.
I said I wanted to have a bowl drinking this. They said have 2, and they gave me 2. So, but I got to be honest with you. It was actually, it pains me to say this and admit this, but it was actually really good.
John,
it's a really good beer.
In his mouth.
It's a really good beer.
And they offered him oh, would you like a bowl of nuts with that? And John did pass on that at least.
I passed on the nuts. Yeah, I did. So, anyway, all right. Well, speaking of Wynkoop, Wynkoop being in Denver
and Colorado, he's mentioned Colorado earlier.
So let's talk about you. You went on an excursion for a while, and you got all the way up to Colorado and back. Talk about that because the pictures, the pictorial journey logged for us to watch was freaking great. But we saw it. Nobody that's listening did. So why don't you have at it?
Well, to tell the honest truth, we got a lot further than Colorado. Colorado was part of that leg. We actually went through, my buddy Josh Flack and I, my best friend of many, many years. We drove all the way through 6 states, 4,200 miles through 6 states in 8 days. And
Oh
we
my
stopped
God,
at,
500
like,
miles a day, over 500 miles a day.
Wow.
Nice.
I mean, average, yes. And but we went all the way to Tahoe and past there, and then up through Utah, Colorado, Utah, Northern Nevada, into Tahoe, into Northern California. We ended up.
Nope, folks, we're losing him. And I'm not sure he's
Yeah, I
aware that we
apologize.
are
The
losing.
internet here.
There he goes.
We've got fiber internet coming within the next two months, so
Hours.
it'll be a lot better next time we chat.
He called it before. They're on their way. Yeah. But
Yeah.
no, he's
No,
actually
back to
in
you.
the Chihuahuan desert, folks. He's actually in the desert. This is why
Yeah.
it's like that. It's not like he's sitting in Fort Worth.
I am as the buzzard flies. I am 12 miles north of the Rio Grande right now,
Nice.
It's a beautiful thing.
in the very
And I
bottom
got-
of the tip of Texas.
There you go.
So,
And I gotta say, man, I am loving this shirt.
hey,
Oh,
thanks.
yeah.
I bought this in
Oh, yeah.
Oaxaca. Hey, how
Very
much do you
nice.
think I paid for this shirt?
Oh.
$3.
I'm gonna
paid.
say $9.
$10.
I was
There you go.
close.
There you go.
I got close.
Same.
I got a black
same
one too. Yeah, you guys were close,
Yeah,
but man, it's so comfy. And look at
there
this.
you go.
I like that. I like
There
that
you
a
go.
lot.
I love it. That is cool. That is cool.
So
I bought this-
anyway, on the trip, he called me up and he says, "Hey, I got to run up to up near Truckee, outside of there, up in Northern California, and I got to go up there to get to grab something and come back. Do you want to go?" And I said, "Yeah, I've got some time off." And
Truckee. I know a brewery in Truckee.
well, we stopped at a lot of breweries, but we didn't have time to stop at all of them. This was we did a Fast and Furious beer trip, but we took a lot of beer with us and we shared it with a lot of people along the way. One of those beers I'll
That's
be
the way to do
drinking later tonight. But we went all the way. I said, what are we going to do? And he says, well, I found my grandma's heirloom cookie jar, and we're going to go pick it up. I said, so we're going to drive all the way to past Tahoe and back to pick up a cookie jar. And he said, yeah. And I said, all right, man, that's my kind of
Yeah.
deal. So we
I've
came back
gone-
through. After we did that, we went through back into Tahoe, gambled a little bit. Next night, we gambled a little bit in Vegas. Came home through Arizona and New Mexico and back into Texas like it never even happened.
There you
So the beer stops were plentiful. That's why I took so many photos, is because I didn't have time to keep a journal.
Right.
But I took photos of everything so I could come back and write you a story later, and that's been working on it ever since.
Well, it looked amazing. That's for sure. That's definitely for sure.
Speaking of Truckee, the was it 50/50 is out there, right? Eclipse.
The
50/50
is the beer they make. Yeah,
50/50. And I'm kind of disappointed because, this year's run of 50/50s, they actually tell you what they are. You don't have to look up the wax color anymore. There was something mystical and magical about having to go on, find the right year, find the right color code to know what it was that you were buying and what you were drinking. And then they got to the point where they put initials on the back of it, so you had to crack the code then to know that HH was Heaven Hill or whatever.
Right.
And now they just write it right on the damn bottom.
Right.
They take all the mystery, all the magic, all the adventure out of the beer now, and It's just like
That's production, though, right? I mean, you have to streamline production. I mean, like, you can still build some codes in, but if you got to make this stuff efficient, you have to tighten it up a little bit.
Exactly.
I've noticed a lot of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it takes some of the magic away from the beer.
You know what? You're right, I guess, to a point, because you know why? It was always not magical, but it was always romantic. It was always like
It was an adventure.
it was an adventure. It was
like
it's something that you did, and that was part of your experience drinking that particular beer, and now that's gone. So it's not
it was like solving an escape room.
right.
Right.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It was.
Why not? Yeah, why not?
The Gold Fleck one is Woodford Reserve. I'm going to grab the Gold Fleck one.
Right.
Oh
exactly.
no! The Gold Fleck one was this one. You grabbed just the gold.
Mhm.
It was it's like there was something stupidly fun about that, and they've taken that away. The one thing they didn't take away was the high price point. That's still on there.
Mhm.
But what are you going to do? It's still a phenomenal beer.
Everything's more expensive these days, right?
Oh yeah,
this is true.
So, not to go back to the hiking and elevation conversation we had before, but Jess and I actually did go on a hike on Sunday morning.
No, I'm not going to go back to that, but I'm going back to that.
But I'm going back to that.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Well,
So,
I wanted to make a point on that too. So go ahead.
There you go.
Well, we hiked up to the top of Chickies Rock.
Chicky. What did you do Pete's Rock too? You were in Pennsylvania.
Not Chicky and Pete's. No, just Chickies Rock.
Chicky and Pete's is it is a chain like pub grub craft beer throughout like Pennsylvania and southern New Jersey.
New Jersey, yeah.
Which southern New Jersey is just an extension of Philadelphia anyway.
Right. But yeah, pretty much. But and northern New Jersey is just an extension of New York. So
what would you think? What do you think would happen if I poured vodka into this?
I mean, why don't you give it a try while I get back to what I was saying? So.
No.
I mean, you're already
Stop
pairing
derailing
a porter
everything.
You're pairing a porter with a margarita, man. You might as well.
Exactly.
We call them tequila beers around here. You guys ever had a ranch water?
I would now.
A ranch water.
Explain.
It's a pretty simple cocktail that comes from out here in far west Texas, and it's on ice. You've got traditionally it'd be tequila, a squeeze of lime, and Topo Chico. Do you know what Topo Chico is? Mineral water?
No.
I know what Topo Chico is.
Topo Chico. And I know what a chupacabra is. Oh, that stuff. That's the mineral water.
This is the most amazing sparkling mineral water you will ever drink in your life.
Is that right?
Good stuff. So a ranch water would be simply tequila with a splash of lime on the, like on the rocks with, and top it off with that. That's called a ranch water. It's super refreshing. A great way to drink even shitty tequila. Knocks it down a little bit. But when you run out of Topo Chico, you can just use like a Goza. And then when you run out of those, just start putting IPAs in it. And I don't know that I'd ever put a porter in it, but I'm not saying I wouldn't.
That's
all
great.
Right.
So never say never.
Exactly.
Throwing tequila into a Baltic porter, not as awful as you would think.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. Hey, it's the first time I've ever seen this in my life,
but I think I need to throw some lime into this and see.
He's the mad scientist now. He's just taking off. He's just like, let's see what else, more shit we can throw into this beer to make it.
I'm gonna pour some of my snake juice into the last little bit of my pills and see how it goes.
There you go.
All right, while you guys do that, I will finish. All I was going to say was we hiked up to the top of Chickies Rock, which is high above the Susquehanna River.
Could you see 3 Mile Island from there?
No, not from there. It's way down the river from there.
Okay.
But in any event, there was stuff floating. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, but whatchamacallit? Yeah, and the elevation of that was 525 feet.
That is massive
and insane.
525 feet.
525 whole feet. Yep.
Did you feel the burn?
Oh yeah.
I never even heard of such a thing.
Actually, the highest point in Rhode Island. It's not. They don't even call it a mountain. It is a hill. It's Jeremoth or something like that. Whatever it is, begins with a J, I think. When you park at the side of the highway that leads into Connecticut, which is only you can see Connecticut from where you park.
Right.
It's about maybe a 50-yard walk, and you maybe gain about 15 feet of elevation from where you park.
Interesting.
Yeah, Rhode Island is basically flat.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, there's an ocean state, and as much of the state that there's almost as much of water coming up into the state from the ocean. So I don't think there's much of a
That's a great segue into what I wanted to bring up on that topic was that a lot of people don't realize that Texas has mountains or that it has this vast when you think of the desert, you usually think of like a long flat stretches of nothing, and Texas has plenty of that too. But I've got a lot of friends in Colorado from many travels throughout the years. And I've mentioned these guys, man, like it's so cool to live in a little mountain town. And they're like, yeah, you don't live in the mountains. There's no mountains in Texas. And, Colorado people are real snobby about their mountains. They take those 14ers really seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
And I mentioned this to a lady here in Terlingua. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you, yeah.
It looks like a cat again.
Yeah, your
video's frozen, but we hear you.
But we're getting you. That's a good one. I like the way he froze there.
Over there?
That's a great face. Yeah.
I took a picture of it. So.
Yeah, you got a picture of that?
I got a picture of that. Yeah. So, are you talking now? Because we can't hear you.
You may have lost him a little bit here.
Let's see. Do.
Well, we can do some filler here.
We can do some. I'll tell you about. Okay, my Turkey Hill hat.
Sorry about that.
Oh,
he's
can
back.
you hear me
Okay,
now?
he's back.
Sorry,
just turned
I
to a
really
T-Mobile
apologize
commercial.
for the shitty, the
It's
terrible
quite all right.
connection out here.
That's not your fault.
No, it's
So
not.
anyway, I mentioned to this friend of mine here, this from Colorado Springs here in Terlingua, that my Colorado friends were giving me a hard time about, there's no mountains and that's not even a real thing. She says, "Well, where's your friend live?" I said, "He lives in Leadville, where the the elevation's like 10,000 feet, and his mountain is 14,000 feet tall, so he's got a 4,000 foot tall mountain." She said, "You live in Terlingua, Texas, which is below 3,000 feet, and the tallest mountain is almost 8,000 feet. So your mountain is actually taller." And I said,
11,000.
"Can you hang on just a second?" I said, I need to make a phone call. So I called this guy and proved that my mountain was 1,000 feet.
That's great.
That's like some locker room comparison going on right there.
That's great. Yeah, mine's bigger.
We've kind of lost him again.
I promise him the next time we do this, I'm going to have a better internet connection.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I'll tell you what, throwing the lime into this actually helped.
I got
Lime, tequila, Baltic Porter.
All right. So how was the Baltic Porter? Seriously, though, let's go back to that. How
The Baltic
how
Porter,
was the Baltic Porter to begin with?
like I said, I did it dirty by ranking it low when I first had this. Now I drink it again. It's got some great roast to it.
Okay.
It doesn't drink like it's 9.5. I mean, it's an easy drinker for a 9.5 Baltic Porter. I've got to give it to it.
Would you get it again now that you had it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, absolutely. And would I add tequila and a lime to it again? No. But I've done it so, and it's really okay. So when I put tequila in it, it was not as awful as you would think it would be, though it was kind of the lime cuts.
The lime is where I think it would throw it off.
No, the lime actually helps it a little bit.
Ironically, I was thinking about adding some to this Pilsner. I was thinking about adding a banana and a Mars bar to this.
I was gonna say a pomegranate and a rock.
There you go.
Damn, I'll have some cigarettes and some fresh rosemary.
There you go.
This is not going to go very well.
It's not going to go very well. Not at all.
But that wasn't too awful.
It's funny you said that, though. I'll just tell this story really quick. So we went out to the Lancaster area of Pennsylvania this past weekend for the long weekend, right?
So that's where the Amish live.
Near the Amish, yeah. And
Okay.
now
Amish?
Amish.
No, not omelets.
Omelets.
The omelets.
Well, I had an omelet out there while I was there. So the Amish are out there. But I did learn, and I've been to Lancaster before, but I did learn that it's not Lancaster.
Lancaster.
It's Lancaster.
Lancaster.
The C is part of the land. The C is part of the. I've been saying it for how many years now?
Well,
since I was
we
a
all
kid.
have. We've all
Right.
had it wrong.
Hey, in Texas, it's definitely Lancaster. But
Definitely
anywhere
is.
else, it's Lancaster.
Lancaster, yeah.
Lancaster.
So the C is part of the land, not part of the Aster. Right? So it's Lancaster. So Lancaster. So, but we actually didn't stay in Lancaster.
Did you have Langostinos while you were in Lancaster?
Didn't have any Langostinos. They didn't have any there. No. But we didn't stay in Lancaster.
Where'd you stay?
We stayed a little east of there in a town called Intercourse.
Oh,
Heard of
Intercourse. Yeah,
They got all kinds
Intercourse.
of bumper stickers and T-shirts. And I've seen that.
I love Intercourse. Yeah.
Yeah, the best part about Intercourse is, and this is not a lie, on one highway, Intercourse is halfway between Paradise, Pennsylvania, and Blue Ball.
Blue Ball, Pennsylvania. Intercourse
I
is between
shit
Blue
you
Ball
not.
and Paradise. Yeah.
It is right between the two of them.
Gee, that wasn't planned, was it?
Someone was thinking.
Oh yeah, but it was in the 1800s too. Yeah, I can't help but think that it was again. It was named something else before, and I saw it over the weekend. I forget what it was.
They were dirty
Cross
bastards.
Keys. It was called Cross Keys. That was the name of the town before it was Intercourse. It was called Cross Keys, and it was in the late 1800s. I believe I read that they renamed it Intercourse, and I can't help but think it was like 5 guys in a meeting room at the town halls getting drunk and saying, "Let's rename it Intercourse."
There were some dirty bastards.
I
Back
mean,
in
it
the
is
80s.
a term that makes sense. I mean, it's the intercourse of all these different,
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Maybe
No, it's
intercourse of.
It's a really cool town. There's a lot of really good shops. We had breakfast yesterday before we went out and about, and then headed home last night. And we had a huge breakfast. I mean, I won't even get into it. We had enough to feed 4 people, the two of us, and we couldn't even finish that. Plus, they gave us 2 huge pieces of coffee cake to go after it. It was like a parting gift after breakfast. We both got our own pots of coffee, and it was like $20.
And this is all before you were done with intercourse.
That was all before we were done with intercourse, right? We were eating while we were in intercourse. So.
No, I mean, I've done that before.
Who hasn't had a sandwich? I mean, really,
It can be fun.
Right. But
wow, you just reminded me of 8.5 weeks.
Not
I mean,
9.5 weeks. That pasta salad, yeah.
That pasta
you got to think about your pairings, though. Your pairings.
You got to think about it, right? Don't
back
put
to,
tequila and a lime in the middle of all of that.
Pairings we're back to 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that you should put tequila and lime and a porter in front of anybody else ever. But I mean, you've done it once. Like
I've done it once. I don't need ever to
do it again.
I'm positive it wasn't that good.
So
no. It's nothing to repeat.
No.
It's been done.
Mm-hmm. It might repeat later. So.
Well, no, I'm going to the. What does Varka call this? So I'm going to my second beer.
Oh, you're going to go to your second beer?
I am too.
Yeah, go for it. Why you do those?
Where do I hide the damn thing?
Where is it? It's it's according to your notes. It's called Strong. It's called
Strong. It's Varka Strong.
Varka Strong.
I do have a bottle opener here.
Where's your bottle opener? You need to open the bottle if you're going to get any beer out of it.
Best bottle opener on the planet, right there.
That's the best.
This one's not bad.
That one's a very readily available and multi-use bottle opener.
Hey, it cuts a lot of salty meats and cheese. I'll tell you that.
There you go.
And it will every now and then stab a what would you call them? Tarantula hawk.
Tarantula hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I've never stabbed one, but if I had to, I would.
I would.
Well, did you appreciate the intro?
Yes. No, I was cracking up.
It's one of the last shows.
I don't know. I don't think I'm coming out there without a goddamn Uzi.
Hey, listen. If you bring a gun out here,
no one cares.
No, nobody cares.
No one cares.
I see people at the gas station all the time. Tourists coming in, they're wearing the side piece. They got it like on their hip. I'm like, man, what are you gonna do with that thing? I don't know. I mean, like, I guess if I need to use it, and so you're just gonna carry it around just in case you need to.
There you go.
He says, you don't carry a gun? I said, no, I have.
That all kind of broke up, so we're not really sure where you're going with
He says,
that.
you going to carry a gun? The guy says, yeah. He says, you don't carry a gun? And he says, I have one, but I don't carry it, right? Is that what you're saying?
I don't carry it. He says, what if you run into a bear on the trail? I go, what? You're going to shoot a bear? That's bad, man. Don't shoot a bear. It's probably not even going to work the first time. Yeah, you're going to piss it off. And he says, what would you do if you saw a bear? I said, I guess I'd take it on with bare hands. I mean, and you know what? If I died, I'd be a legend because I'd be the first guy that's ever been killed by a bear out here. And if I won, I'd be a legend because I was the first guy that ever killed a bear with his bare hands.
Hands out there, yeah.
So either way,
one way or the other, you're a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So that's what I'm drinking.
Varka strong lager. So it's a strong dark lager. Let's see it. Put the glass up.
Yeah, it's kind of dark. It's not as dark as the
darkish.
Darkish.
It's a darkish lager.
I won't be. I probably. Well, I can't promise I won't pour tequila into this.
You might want a strong dark lager. You might want to pour something else other than tequila into it. I mean,
What?
A bourbon.
Hey, you want some snake juice?
Snake juice.
Yeah, here, hand it over.
There you go. Alakhan, what are you drinking for number 2? Is that you're going to Velvet Hammer? There you go.
Went to the Velvet Hammer. Pedicolis.
There you go.
Am I saying that right? Pedicolis?
Pedicolis. It is not pediculous.
It's not pediculous?
So I said it right. I am so happy I got that right.
It's not pediculous brewing.
It's particularly not pediculous.
On the show.
Right. Pediculous Brewing in Dallas, Texas.
Hey, and this coincidentally is one of my top 3 for later. So.
All right. Foreshadowing. There you go. While you pour that, because I'm going to finish this beer before I actually pour my next one. I'm going to play a couple minutes of this particular song. Why don't you?
We have a music interlude.
We have a musical interlude. So why don't you explain what we're about to listen to, Tony?
Well, listen, this beer is so good that I wrote a love song about it twice.
We've
heard
had
you won't hear the second one for a while.
Right, we've lost him a little bit.
Say it again. One more time. You broke up. He wrote this
Okay.
beer was there. We go.
It was so
He's
good.
back.
I wrote a love song about it.
Now you've done this before,
and
we've played an ode to a beer before on the show.
Oh, did we? Because I asked him. I thought we talked about this.
I don't think we.
So
I don't think it was. Was it this one? I don't think it was.
We didn't actually. Well, it's
Yeah.
the only love song I've ever recorded about a beer. But we didn't. I don't
Well,
think you
then it
played
is.
the song on there. So
We didn't play the song. We talked about it.
We talked about it.
I think
Yeah.
you actually.
because even
sung
on the
a few
back of the
verses.
can,
That was
the back
it.
of the can. It
That's
says,
the one. Yep.
All right.
Right there.
I
we
knew
actually
I'd
we actually
drank
talked
this
about it, and you talked about it a little bit. So let's play a little
Well,
bit
you-
of it here.
Apparently,
Right.
Johnny had too much coffee cake
do.
to remember.
Well, no. We didn't play the song on the
No, we
on
didn't
the
play the
show.
song.
That's my point. So here we go. Here's a little bit of Velvet Hammer.
Hello, Velvet Hammer. Well, I know how you got your name. Since the first time you touched my lips, I ain't never been the same. Now I drink you all the time. I ask for you in every bar. If they tell me they don't know, well, I say I have you in the car. But never while I'm driving, 'cause I don't want to go to jail. Well, I think everybody knows Velvet Hammer won't pay my bill. Velvet Hammer, whoa, whoa, Velvet Hammer, whoa, whoa, whoa. Michael Petticolas is an attorney, and I'm pretty sure the last thing that he wants is to hear from me. I've been drinking Velvet Hammer while I'm riding on a TRE, and the best part of the story is it's midnight now and it's starting to rain. Hello, Velvet Hammer. Well, you look good in a glass. You always go down smooth and it always goes down fast. Oh, Velvet Hammer. Whoa, whoa, Velvet Hammer. Whoa, whoa, curse you, Velvet Hammer. You're the only beer for me. You're so smooth and gentle, yeah, you knock me to my knees. Whoa, Velvet Hammer, why can't you see? Oh, I love you, Velvet Hammer. You're the only beer for me. Well, I see you have a Facebook page and you got lots of friends. Guess I should have known it that all good things come to an end. Well, Velvet Hammer, well, I can't believe we're done. We had lots of good times and we sure had lots of fun. Now I'm all alone at the end of the night. Well, I'm staring at a Budweiser and it don't feel right. Velvet Hammer, whoa, whoa, Velvet Hammer, whoa, 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 curse you, Velvet Hammer. You're the only beer for me. You're so smooth and gentle, yeah, you knock me to my knees. Whoa, Velvet Hammer, why can't you see? Oh, I love you, Velvet Hammer. You're the only beer for me, Velvet Hammer. Velvet Hammer.
Yeah. this you on guitar, Alacron?
What's that?
Is this you on guitar right here?
That's me playing the banjo and singing.
Who's got that?
I can't play.
guitar
I don't play the guitar like that.
Who's got that back guitar riff going?
That's Mr. Matthew Broyles.
I got to say, you had me really worried with that phrase. You really look good in the glass, and I was kind of worried where you're going to go with that.
Well,
rhymes with glass?
I've changed the words a couple times. So. It's hard to write something, man.
That's pretty great.
I had to move.
That's awesome.
I had to move closer to the router so the internet tries to keep up.
There you go.
I kind of like this
We're lucky we're
mysterio
not
that you got going.
You got a little air of mystery there too. That's really
Yeah.
good. I like that. So, awesome song. That's probably the third time I've listened to it since you sent it to me earlier. But, whatchamacallit? Yeah, that was great. And
Well,
okay, Shotgun Friday.
if I would have remembered that we had done this before, and that's why I asked, because I love this beer, but I wasn't sure I needed to drink this beer tonight. Because the thing is, like, Velvet Hammer and I have a really beautiful love-hate relationship, and all the things in that song are true, good and bad. No, no, this beer is a commitment, and I love it. It's one of my favorite beers ever.
That's
made.
awesome.
It's so well balanced. It's got it's got all the hops. It's got the malt sweetness. It's got all the good back.
We've lost him a little bit there, but sounds like Velvet Hammer to
Comes
him
right back though.
Is
Did
what?
I tell the Marilyn Monroe joke?
Oh, we've not heard the Marilyn Monroe joke.
I don't think so. Go for it.
Let's see if you can get it in.
There he goes. You got it. He's there. He's there.
He's sort of there.
He's there, and then he's not. And then he's there, and he's not. So
This is like a bit of artwork right there.
I like that right there.
I like that. Yeah,
Taking that one.
take a shot of that.
I got that. That's really cool. It's right. He's right over his name too. It's perfect.
Yeah.
The there he is.
There he is.
All right.
So
Sorry about that.
we got your left forearm tat in that shot.
That was good.
I love. Like, are you taking screenshots? All this stuff?
I did. Yeah, I got 3 of them.
Oh, there's a screenshot that was just awesome. You're gonna love it. It's just artwork.
Well,
That'll be my new profile pic next week.
I'll send it over. Yeah, absolutely. What? So you were talking about the Marilyn Monroe joke, Ed?
I didn't tell that one last time, right? Because we
you didn't.
used that. I stole this joke from Marilyn Monroe, and I've gotten in trouble for using it. But and this applies to beer. Anything that's dangerous.
It's all crapping out.
Applies to the beer, and it's there. He is. Gavin, go for it. You're back.
This beer's like this beer's like a titty. One's not enough, and three's too many. The Marilyn Monroe joke was about martinis, but it also applies. Sometimes one's not enough, but then you get three. Boy, you drink 3 of these, you're gonna have a different kind of night than you planned on.
When you say titties and you say 3, it reminds me of Total Recall.
Total Recall.
Yes, of course. On Mars.
There you go.
Yeah, no, someone else who knows that 3 martinis is a little too much.
Yeah. Even with 2, that was an old joke. T Martinis.
What?
T Martinis.
T Martinis.
Once you drink, 2, you said you have T Martinis.
T Martinis.
That was an old, like a Marilyn Monroe-esque era joke back then too. So anyway,
really not sure what to make of this Varka.
What do you think of it?
It is definitely a Eastern European strong lager.
Is that right?
I will definitely give it that. If I'd started with this, I don't know if I would have liked it as much as I like it now.
There you go.
Let's go with that.
Well, I'm going to drink the first. I think it's been a while since I didn't have a lager on the show. I've been drinking a lot.
Yeah, I've drank nothing but lagers and a margarita on the show.
There you go. So tonight, my second beer I'm going to drink is.
You're going IPA, aren't you?
I'm going IPA. Yeah.
I did 3 IPAs tonight.
There you go.
Nothing wrong with that. Oh, you went Cypress.
I went to Cypress. Yeah, it's actually collab with. That's not a collab. No, this one's not a collab. The next one's a collab. If I the third, Insane. Yeah, it's 8.5% double New England by Cypress in Edison, New Jersey.
When are we getting Charlie on the show?
Eventually, Charlie will be on.
We gotta get him on.
Yeah. So.
Hey, y'all know I tried to log in when you broadcast while I was in Oaxaca. I got the notification, and I tried to come on and watch the show and say hello, but my dad was done for the day. Like literally, I logged in, I came on.
And which show was that? Last week or 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, when we announced we were. That's actually when we announced the brewery.
And why I didn't know.
There you go.
So people who have not, who did not see that show, I don't think we mentioned it on the last show.
We didn't actually, no.
So we know that Matt Potensky, who we refer to as one of our producers, has another title now in the continuum, and that would be head brewer, master brewer, whatever you want to call him, brewer,
master brewer,
brewmaster, whatever you want to call him.
Managing partner,
John and Matt, with a quasi-silent partner, mostly silent partner, a certain James Healy, who will be opening a brewery called Coastal Brewworks. They will start off contract brewing out of a place we won't. Can we mention it?
No, not yet.
So they will be able
to within a week or two, but.
They will be hitting some of the beer festivals first before they actually open their tap room.
We're hoping the tap room's open by the end of the year, sometime maybe a week before Thanksgiving, week after Thanksgiving, somewhere in there.
And John, cover your ears. You and I, everyone else that's listening, we all know this means probably sometime around July 2023.
Well, that has nothing to do with us. That has everything to do with the state. But that's
you were supposed to cover your ears. Shut up. We know we're trying to open by the end of the year. You're not opening by the end of the year.
No. We may. It's more towards equipment than anything else. The supply chain issues with steel and everything else, with custom made equipment, it could be longer than that.
Just tell people you're opening soon. Don't give them a date.
That's all it is. No, that's why we say we're hoping to.
And my real job is logistics, and I can back John up on this. Trying to get anything into any country from one country to another cheaply, you're fucked. Mm-hmm. It's just not happening. If you want to get something here within a month, you're paying premium.
Yeah, it's not. It's not even worth it. Which is one of the reasons why we decided to go there. If we knew damn well that we were absolutely going to be open by this October, we wouldn't have bothered. We were just waiting, did our thing, and then opened in October. But, with the fact that it's highly likely that it might be delayed longer than we want it to be, let's get beer out. Let's get the marketing out. Let's get the brand out there. Let's get some buzz going.
They are branding. If you've not seen the logo is fantastic. They've put it on glassware.
I'll throw it up right now.
John, I want to
show me. I want to see.
There you go.
There it is right there.
Very nice.
That's our logo.
Clean.
It almost looks like a
nice
dove.
And clean and easy lines. And
it almost looks like a dove, right?
Easy to translate onto, embroidery and
bar wear.
And, a lot of stuff. Yeah.
So I want a stange and a work shirt.
I know what you want. So anyway, there you go.
You know I don't need a hat.
No, you do not.
Okay, so Tony.
Yes.
Johnny can attest to this. This is the longest I've ever worn a hat on any show.
Yeah, he usually has it on from the beginning because it's on his head for a reason, and then within 10 minutes it's like off.
10 minutes, 45 seconds usually. It's pretty much. Yeah, 10 minutes.
Exactly. And this is the first time I think on the show that I've worn a non-beer cap.
You are correct.
Yeah. So when we were just
is that better? Now I'm the only guy with this hat.
Now you've got well, this hat's not coming off. So if Samurai chooses to take his hat off, that's up to him. But this one's staying on. So But I love this hat. I walked in, and
That's only because he hasn't
most
washed his
hats you
hair.
walk into breweries, right? Most hats are once in a blue moon you'll find a hat for $15 or $18, something like that. Most hats are $20 or $25 in a brewery, right? Walked out. I looked at this hat. There was like 8 different or more hats in the gift shop. Where there's Turkey Hill Experience. It's in Columbia, Pennsylvania, just west of Lancaster.
No,
And-
you said it wrong.
Lancaster. I
Oh,
said
you did say
Lancaster.
it right, yeah.
I did say it right, yeah. And whatchamacallit. So when we walk out, and I looked at this was hat. I picked it up. I says, "This is beautiful. I definitely got to get this." I turned it over, $12.95. Done. It's like, here you go. Yeah. But
And
anyway.
not for nothing, Alacron. I love your hat.
Oh, it's great. Hold on. Is he frozen again?
We
I got another screenshot. Here we go.
oh god, he's doing the twisty thing.
Either that or he
Or
just got bored of me talking about the hat I bought.
No, I think he got sucked into a black hole.
Anyway.
But
all right, maybe,
I'm just used to seeing him in that hat.
so he'll be coming back in a minute.
And he's
back.
drop.
No, he's back. When he drops out, he comes right back. There he is. He's back.
There it is.
And he's
There's
got the hat. He's ready.
and
to
the
go.
knife.
Knife. There you go. This is great. I love it. All right. You know what?
No, I have to ask.
I'm trying to do weird, good stuff so we get some good screenshots.
That's all. I got a few.
So I got to ask, how long have you had that hat, and where did you get it?
This hat came from the Stetson factory. They more or less like this. This is my hat, and I haven't had it long. A few base. We have some friends up there.
I have some friends up there.
He's got some friends up there.
He does. It's always good to have friends in high places. Assuming it's up there is a high place. There he is. Wait. He's back.
There's
There you
that.
go. That's a nice hat.
All right.
Oh, that's a turkey feather, is it not?
Hey, this turkey gave this feather to me.
The
took
turkey
some
gave it
photos
to
of
you
him.
himself.
I met him, and then he did a show for me, and I shot some photos, and he left a feather behind, so I took it with me and put it in my hat.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, because so often you'll just find a feather on a hiking trail. Some people take feathers from the things they've killed, but for the animal to actually have lived and drop that feather for you, that's
awesome.
Yeah, I shoot animals
that's
almost
phenomenal.
every day, but I do it with the camera. I'm doing a different thing. I don't need to kill them to eat, but I would if I did.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. If you need to take the animal, use the whole animal, don't disrespect it. Otherwise, if you're just doing it to make yourself more masculine, I have a major issue with that.
Right. In any event, is he frozen again?
Do it look like Buffalo Bill?
I love it.
Yeah, because you got that cut that off to the side there. Yeah,
There you go.
absolutely.
I got a good one. All right.
I do have a Stetson. It's a 4X beaver felt. The funny
Excuse
thing
me?
is it's a beautiful thing.
There you
You've
go.
got is that a custom?
It's his hat. He said it was.
It's a custom. So mine's not a custom, but it's funny.
Yours isn't accustomed to what? Being on your head, apparently, because you don't wear it.
I don't wear it all that often.
Right.
And the thing is, I used to wear it more often. I shopped around for a long time looking for a hat that looked good on me.
Right.
Now, for a fat, I got plenty of fat on me.
I was gonna say,
for a hat.
You don't need any more of that.
And this hat looked good on me, so I bought it. Got a great deal on it. Brought it home. I had worn it for years, and then finally realized that this hat was I don't know if it was Tanya Tucker, but it was a female Western.
No, you told me this before. It was Tanya Tucker.
It was
And
Tanya
it's
Tucker,
it's
right?
not Tanya. Tanya
Tucker.
Tanya Tucker.
Very important.
And it's like,
Hey, we're all about the pronunciations tonight.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
Tanya
we
Tucker.
are Tanya Tucker, and it's like I don't wear it as much anymore, knowing that it still looks good on me, but kind of not partial to this one.
Well, there you go.
There we go.
Alacron, you mentioned earlier
Is it a
that
felt hat?
It is a beaver felt.
beaver felt, yes.
It's a Stetson 4X beaver felt. It's a beautiful hat. But it was not.
Why do you care what anybody thinks?
Nah, and you know, I kind of do, kind of don't. But and John knows this. Right now, it's packed away in a
box
somewhere. Yeah,
Mhm.
in the. So I got to pull it out one of these days.
Well, listen, a real cowboy only has one hat.
Real cowboy only needs one hat.
Right now,
he
this
needs
is
a
my
new one.
Until he needs a new
my
one.
hat.
Exactly.
What just flew at the camera?
Mothra just flew out of your shirt.
Please tell me that wasn't a tarantula hawk.
I think he just froze while he went and killed whatever it was that was flying at him.
He took that badass blade that he's
there
got.
You go.
That's
the amazing
moth.
handle.
That's a moth.
The mothening. Listen, the mothening is about to happen here in Terlingua.
The mothening.
As
mothening
spring comes
is
in
about
and the rain starts. Well, we're about to screen in the rest of the sports, so it'll be a little less than that. But man, I've counted more than 30 species of moths in one night.
There you go.
Wow.
Well,
So
I mean, you have a lot of free time on your hands out here.
Oh yeah.
And I love that. I've said this before. To someone else, I love calm. I'm at the point in my age. I love calm. I love quiet, serenity. And one of these days, I got to come out and visit you, man.
We definitely do. We got to get out there. On that note, though, speaking of trips, you mentioned before a wild-ass journey to the agave fields. Why don't you talk about that for a moment?
The agave fields.
I'll talk about it for as long as the internet will hold up. So I drove from here in Terlingua to El Paso. And from El Paso, we walked across the border to Juarez. We caught a plane in Juarez because if you fly within Mexico, it's a lot cheaper. We flew from Juarez to Mexico City. We ate so many tacos that I got the hangover of my entire life.
You got a hangover from tacos?
Shit. Stay.
So back this up, Tony. Sure. You got a hangover from tacos? Oh, bad time for the.
I need clarification because I heard so many tacos. He's back.
The hangover of my life.
Good.
The only taco hangover I've ever had in my entire life. We ate so many street tacos in Mexico City, and I only ate half of what my brothers I was with were doing. And man, I've never felt like this before or since. I've written a piece about it, so you'll see that soon. But then we went to Oaxaca. We were in Oaxaca City for a couple of days, and then we got really. Well, I didn't get this until almost the last day, but there was a trip we took. It took about 4 hours to get there.
Oh my God, he's getting to the good part. He's crying.
Took about 4 hours to get there. We're just like back up, and there he is. He's shaving again. Folks, if you're listening to the audio podcast, whenever it drops out, you gotta watch the actual video.
He comes back with
Tune into Facebook. Tune into Facebook or the YouTube channel.
I'm trying to make it entertaining.
Watch the video, because when he comes back on, you got to see what he's doing. It doesn't translate to the audio except for Dave and I laughing. So you got to see this stuff. But anyway, so 4 hours, 4 hour trip.
4 hours. We drive out of Oaxaca City. We take a turn off the main highway that seems unlikely. Like, okay, and that is the road that goes all the way to this little village. And we get there, and it's the top of the mountains. The mescalero himself, Vicente Sanchez, takes us up to the top of the mountain, and I've never seen so many agave plants in my life, man. Some of it grows naturally, some of it they cultivate, but I mean it just goes on forever, and numerous species of agave. This guy makes some of the best mezcal I've ever had. And he took us to where it grows, and he told us about the dirt and the air and the climate and the rain and everything. So it was.
And he was the mescaleros.
I've got one of the best photos I shot on that trip was this guy who is, I think, either fourth or fifth generation, walking through this field of 10 different kinds of agaves, carrying a couple bottles that we're going to drink, shots out of, or not shots. You don't drink shots of this stuff. You sip it, you kiss it, you just wet your lips, and before you know it, the whole bottle's gone, and you don't feel so bad. And this stuff is from the earth. It's very much a sacrament to a lot of people that make it, man. And it's a really cool experience to be on top of where they all do all this and see where it comes from, and be able to document it from the plant to the cocktail. And that's the couple of projects that I'm working on concurrently, is with Sotol. They call them Sotoleros, and Mezcal is Mezcaleros. I've had some really cool opportunities to meet some real cool families that have been doing this for many generations that don't think I'm too weird, and they take me on the field, and we get to take photos of all kinds of things.
That's awesome.
So
that's great.
I mean, this guy, when we got there, he wanted to share in the actual production part, which is all open air, by the way, and they ferment all this stuff in the open air. That's why it has such terroir.
Wow.
It's very cool. But he wanted to open a bottle to share a couple of sips with us, and he pulls out this box of bottles, and they're all empty. And he's like, basically, he says, the guys had a long day yesterday, and they drank it all. So all the bottles are empty. So he takes this empty bottle, and he walks over to a 55-gallon drum of not the purified, not the triple distilled.
It's not 500 liters.
No. No, this actually was more than 500
liters.
liters.
More than 500 liters, yeah.
As I say,
and he sticks a tube down inside of it, and he puts his thumb over it, and then he drops the tube in a bottle, in one of those bottles, and he filled it back up with the puntas, like the first runnings. And this stuff is like, man, this stuff will give you heartburn for 3 days.
What was that word you just said with a P?
The puntas.
Okay.
The first runnings. Most of the time when you drink it, every other time I've drank this in Sotol or Mezcal, it's been inside of a bullhorn that's cut off, and you drink it out of the bullhorn.
Bullhorn, right.
Wow, nice.
But you know what's cool? These guys, the way they ferment the stuff.
Wait a second. There's something cooler than what you just told us?
Maybe.
Oh, Jesus.
So
there's always something cooler,
They ferment in these big oak vats like a foeder, but it's open top, and they literally take once they whatever way they use to crush the plant down after they cook it, they let it steep in its own juice, and like everything, the atmosphere, everything helps it in the fermentation. So in this town or in another side of the same town, they could make the same thing out of the same plant, and it would taste a little bit different. I mean, you could taste the dirt this plant grows in if you're doing it right. One of the coolest tastings I've ever done with the Sotol guys is that they put actual rattlesnake venom, pure rattlesnake venom, in a drop on my tongue, like as a palate cleanser. And it doesn't just, and he knew, he waited a couple of seconds, and he goes, "Don't swallow it." And I'm like, "I already did." He's like, "Oh my God." and he laughs, and he's like, "No, it's okay. It's not bad for you because, like even still, but if you don't swallow it, it keeps it on your tongue. It keeps it concentrated there." And the best way I can describe it, I've done a lot of professional level beer tasting and beer analysis, the Siebel kits, all that stuff. This is the coolest way I've ever tasted anything. The rattlesnake venom almost, if I could put words to it, it wipes the memory of your taste buds clean for about 30 minutes. It numbs your tongue for sure, but it kind of like makes you forget what things taste like, so that when we would drink 30 different Sotol samples in a day. There you go.
Gotcha. Wow.
So the one thing I got to mention here, Tony, for anybody who's listening, you've got a lot of people sitting here. Yeah, there you go.
He caught more.
Got him. He got him.
See the little girl singing.
You're gonna piss off those two little twins. But anybody who's listening or sitting here entirely goddamn jealous of the life that you live, the experiences that you have.
Well, come visit.
Oh no! Hey, I've got to try to figure out when.
You shouldn't be jealous. You should be inspired.
No, I'm absolutely inspired.
Exactly. You know what?
Inspired. And
I also do a lot of shit that nobody knows about. It's hard to do the things that I do. I made a lot of sacrifices to get to the point that I have. So don't be jealous. Be inspired.
And we've read some of those, but just what you do, the experiences that you have, and I promise you, I want to get down there. I will get down there. I've got to try to figure out. I mean, I've been in my company that I work for 25 years. I've got a lot of time off, so I've got to trigger. I've got to try to figure out how to. So you need to tell me how much time do I need to take to get down there to experience something special?
Well, it takes. You can't fly here.
I got to fly into Dallas. Dallas.
The two closest airports are in Midland, about 3.5 hours away, or El Paso, 3.5 hours the other way.
I've got no problem driving.
Right, and I'll come pick you up. You don't even need to rent a car because they probably won't rent you a car if you're coming out here.
Really.
You don't tell them.
They don't. Hey, this is a rough place. Anyway, there's a lot of options, but you have to consider that one of the reasons this place is so awesome is because it's really hard to get to, and if you come here, you have to want to be here.
No,
you could do it in a weekend. People from Austin drive 7.5 hours to get here.
No, I want at least a week.
People from Fort Worth drive 8 hours to get here, and they do it in a weekend, like a long 3 or 4 day weekend. But yeah, like a week out here with a guide like me and a guy that could show you around, man, we could do a lot of things. But I could spend every day for the rest of my life out here, and I won't even scratch the surface of it. There's so much stuff to see.
So Johnny, we got to figure out how to get out there, spend a whole week, do the show out there.
Sure.
It'll be probably one of the most interesting and disturbing shows ever.
I'm sure it will be. Absolutely.
He now has the knife in his mouth.
He's got the knife in his mouth. Hold on, that's another screenshot. There you go. Luckily, he froze that way. Are the sirens by Tony or by you?
The sirens.
Exactly.
There's
I know.
Probably no firehouse anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a wildfire out here yesterday. So I live directly in the middle, 15 minutes to the west or the east is Big Bend National Park. 15 minutes to the west is Big Bend Ranch State Park. There was a wildfire in the state park yesterday. The winds were kicking up, dude. I can't even explain the wind to you. It's not even relevant to this podcast. But when you come out here, we'll have a talk about what the wind does. And sometimes you don't even say the word wind out here. You say WIND. They will get mad at you.
Did you have a fire-nado?
No, but ahead of there's a cold front happening in North Texas right now. That stuff all blows through here. It picks up steam and it twists and turns, and you see dust devils. But there's no fire-nados. But that fire in the state park yesterday, which was 50 miles west of us, had flames that were 50 feet tall.
Sure.
But you get one of those dust devils into a fire.
This land out here, because the kind of desert it's not like a wildfire in Colorado or California, and it's really dry out here, but it's been dry out here for a long time. So there's not a lot of stuff for it to burn, and when it comes up, like a canyon could stop the fire unless the wind's kicking too hard, and it makes the flames come up and they go over the canyon.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Hey, but it happens, and so as soon as I found out this was happening yesterday, I was having a beer with some guys up in the center of town. Somebody mentioned it, and I came because the house is west of town. I'm going to keep an eye on everything and start knocking things back if I need to. But it's not as big a risk or as big a concern as it is in a lot of other places.
Like California,
Hey, they sucked the water out of this place a long time ago, and it is adapted, and it didn't have a lot of water in the first place. A lot of those problems they're having in California and Colorado is because they're sucking all the water dry everywhere south of there. They're pulling it all out of the underground, and it's no wonder everything's so dry.
Yeah.
We gotta, that's a fact of life for the future.
This is true. Very true.
I'm picking up beer number 3. I'm gonna set the rest of that Velvet Hammer. I put a little cap on it, and I'm gonna save the rest of that for later because I'm not trying to go all Velvet Hammer.
I think you should.
And I know what his number 3 is.
There you go. On that note, really quick, Doug Smith just wrote in. He said, you could really do some damage with Tony. Yeah, we definitely could. And
what's going to be interesting is when we come out there, not an if, when we come out there.
When.
Hey, we should do a live broadcast from here.
Definitely.
Oh, no, that's what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
I'll take you guys to the top of the plateau.
Oh, God.
You can see everything up there.
That's
there
great.
we go. But so Doug, your questions, your statement here is a little what? It's a little off. The question it raises questions. Are we going to drive Tony to levels, or is he going to drive us to levels? But we're going to be in his.
We'll be in his neck of the woods, so he'll be driving us to levels. So.
He'll be driving us to levels we haven't hit before, experiences we haven't hit before, and that's.
If he comes here, is a different story. All bets are off.
But if you come here, I'm going to experience things I've never experienced before.
That's true.
Because I'm going to have to make sure you guys don't die out there or get bit by snakes or rammed by an aoudad or like.
Well, what rammed by a what?
Rammed by an aoudad.
Do you know what an aoudad is?
Oh no, I don't know what an aoudad is.
No, that's a whole nother. This isn't the podcast for that.
It's another night for another story for another night. So Doug also said he wants to know who has the record now, Tony or Tom, the beer whisperer.
Tom still has it.
Tom still has the record. What's Tom up to? Hang on, I can actually tell you right now what Tom's up to.
Hey, Douglas, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it.
We've got Tom's got the top at what, 4?
I'm gonna look right now. Hold on one second. Tom has 5 shows.
My third.
5 shows.
5 shows.
I think this is my third, right?
This is your third. This is your
third. Which
I'm coming for you, beer whisperer.
One of these days, we need to show with the two of you on.
Get the two of them on.
Exactly. Let's do it.
That'll be interesting.
And Dennis Fisher watching on YouTube just wrote in whatever that means.
Yeah, so we love the fact that we have.
Speak.
We love the fact that we've gotten big enough that we get these. It's not trolling. It's
bot
fishing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is though.
Hey, have you ever looked at your hidden message requests on Instagram?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I don't.
I opened that up. I never look at that. I opened it up the other day. I'm like, holy shit, man.
I look like once a month. I'm like, really?
There's not a lot of. Well, I mean, I've looked at it before, but I haven't looked at it in a while. And there's a lot of robots that wanted to talk to me about collabs and DMs and
Dennis Fisher is definitely a bot.
NFTs and fuck, man.
So, Doug, to answer your question, I think Tony's sitting at number 3 because Augie's been on 4 times.
No, Tom has been on 5 times.
No, Augie has been on 4 times.
Hold on. I'll tell you.
4.
Augie has been on. Hold on, just going back to it here. Augie has been on.
Don't say his name again.
I like that you can pull that up like on your
5 times as well.
5 times as well. So so Alakon is sitting at number 3.
All right, I'm coming for him.
Tom and the other guy who won't be mentioned the third time are tied for one. Are tied at first. So tied in first with 5.
So. But we have to have Tony and Tom on.
No, they're actually tied. I'm sorry, they're tied for second place with 5.
Okay. Well, how about this?
No. Somebody's been on more than that.
That would be Matt potentially.
That would be Matt. Yeah, exactly.
But am I the only one that's been in a different location each time?
Every time you're the only one that's been in a different.
You're
location.
the only.
Augie's. Oh, I said it again. Damn it!
Now he's
Hold
coming.
on.
He's going to show up in the studio.
There he is, right there. He popped
there
on.
he is.
I've seen this guy before.
He has been in 3 different locations.
He's been in 3 different locations. Yeah,
so
he's always in this. He's always in the same one. He's been on 5 times. 3 of them he's been in the same location. One he was in when we did the live show,
California,
and the other one was in Washington.
Cloverleaf, and one time in Washington State. Right. Yeah.
So anyway.
Oh yeah, Doug, Beer Guru will be on the show next week. As a matter of fact.
Yep. Beer Guru, John Starodumsky will be on the show next week, and then the week after that, the week after that will be Mr. Mr. Steve Bauer from Ghost Hawk Brewing in Clifton, New Jersey. So, but yeah, we're looking forward to next week with the Beer Guru. So, but
Yeah,
not as much as we were looking forward to today's show. Though.
Oh God, we love having Tony on the show. But John is one of the OGs, and it's going to be. Oh, what do you got there? You just distracted me. It's an IPA.
I'll throw it up.
It looks like an IPA.
There it is. Right. Nope, that's yours. Right there. Nope, that's mine.
Twilight. No, that's yours.
This is his. Nope, that was the other.
Oh, he's going to get this right eventually. There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Yes, there we go. Awesome Beer Works.
Homeostasis.
Tell us about this beer.
I had the great pleasure of about a week ago. One of the co-founders. There's 4 co-founders of that brewery. The co-founder and head brewer Will Golden was here, and he brought with him 15 cases of beer to Terlingua, Texas.
Oh,
and
jeez.
Some of that was to drink and have a good time with while they were here. But when he left, he said, "I'm sorry, I've left so much beer at your house." I go, "Man, I said, "You're the only guy that's ever said that phrase to me in my entire life."
That should never
shut
happen.
Up. So anyway, we have a lot of my friends in the beer business come through here. Big Bend is a place people like to visit, and when they come through, all beers out here are rare. It's really hard to get good beer out here, so all good beers are rare. So when they we get a fresh incoming selection of beer that comes straight from the brewery. A lot of times it's like guys that work for the brewery that bring it. And homeostasis is, I think it says on the can in one way or another, they took homeostasis means balance, and they took the elements of all the IPAs that they made, that they make, and they made like one that was a balance of all those things. It was like their favorite things about every IPA to make a great. And man, this beer is amazing. This is one of my favorite beers from one of my favorite breweries I've ever had.
That's awesome.
I don't have a problem saying that because holy moly, he left me 12 cases of this stuff.
Oh,
he left you 12 cases?
No, I'm kidding. That was a joke. It's a really good beer, and I was happy to get any of it, and happy they left a couple of 4-packs of this behind. This is delicious.
So, John, I'm actually going to a third beer as well.
And I don't have the crawl, so I can't put it up for you. So.
No, because I didn't tell you.
I know.
We're going to go with some Frusta.
Oh, you got a little Frusta there.
Some Frusta and Italian.
And what was the owner of the brewery that made that?
We're not allowed to say it, or he'll show up again.
Augie?
There he goes.
Oh, he
just showed up again.
I said it.
There he is. There he is.
It doesn't matter who says it. He pops up. So there you go.
But I love.
I've just been on enough times that I know that that's the thing I could say, and he
gets it. There you go.
So it's an Italian Pilsner. So John,
what does that even mean? I mean, I know what it means, but like, it's all marketing, man. It's not really Italian, is it?
Well, it's not brewed in Italy, so it's definitely not Italian.
Right.
But it's
it's really an Italian Pilsner, a German Pilsner, a Czech Pilsner, a New Zealand Pilsner. If it's brewed in New Jersey, it's an American Pilsner, right?
So what?
I thought you were dropping a bunch of stuff again.
I dropped a can, yeah.
No, it's an Italian. Yeah, go ahead. Talk
so
about
Carton Brewing, what they're doing is they're brewing Pilsners in the style of a whole bunch of different regions. And they're naming them after the word from that country for Pilsner. So Italian Pilsner in Italian apparently is Frusta. And I'm trying to learn Italian as fast as I can because I'm going to Italy to visit my son in April.
Can you say it again?
Frusta.
Frusta is the name for Pilsner in Italy.
Apparently, because he's done a bunch of others. He's done a Czech Pilsner. He's done. Did you do the German Pilsner yet, John? I don't think so.
No. Oh no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
No, I don't think he has. So he's doing a bunch like this, and I love the fact that he's doing Pilsners in the styles of so many different countries in Europe. So what does this mean? What is an Italian Pilsner? Couldn't tell you. I've had like 3 other Italian Pilsners from Italy, right? There's Oh God,
I've had a few from Sicily and from Italy. That's why I asked, because I've had beers from a couple of breweries in Texas that call them Italian pilsners, and what makes them Italian is that they use some the hops that grow in and around Italy. And
But I don't know that's what he's done here. I don't know. So knowing the brewery and the brewer and the ostentatious owner of the brewery.
I just realized this. Look at this.
It matches your shirt. That is a beautiful thing. That is awesome.
I didn't
So
even
what
notice
he's-
that until around the camera.
So what he's done here is he's used malts. So he's got Bohemian Pilsner, Vienna malt, sour malt, and Carafoam in this. Hops wise, he's used Howler Towers,
German.
Magnum. I can't even pronounce this one. Mittelfrau against. That's Mittelfrau. Mittelfrau. That's German. Hirschbrucker and Blanc. Now, not to say that doesn't make it. It makes it German, because the Italians, when they do their pilsners, they do use German hops in it. So they're using.
Well, I would imagine the hops that grow in Germany are probably better than the hops that grow in Italy, or we'd know about Italian beers for a lot longer than we have.
And I've known Italian beers for a while, and I don't know that I enjoy the Italian pilsners as much as I enjoy the German pilsners.
For sure. Definitely Czech and German are my two favorite styles.
Oh God, Czech pilsners, and so Tomave Pivos are probably one of my favorite styles, straight up.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Are you into the slow pour?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
only
you know
slow
what?
pours.
Out here, we can't get that shit to save our lives, man.
No.
Drink them up.
So I went
I
to a
would love
place
to.
I went to a place in Philadelphia called Human Robot. They not only do a slow pour, they do something called a milk tube. The milk tube is where they completely foam out the whole Pilsner. It's nothing but foam. You put this down, it's nothing but the flavor of the beer. You don't have the liquid. There's so much that's missing from it, so it's just straight up flavor from the foam.
Is it
And
cold?
it looks gimmicky. And so I'm like, okay, so this is a gimmick. They sell shirts based on the milk tubes. Got Milk Tubes is one of their shirts. And so I'm like, okay, this is a straight up gimmick, but I'm in this brewery. This is what they do. Let me give it a shot. I drank 3 of them. And drank is not the right word, because you don't drink these. These are all foam. So you put it down your face.
It's a shot, basically.
It's not even a shot. Because
So, they call it a foam shot or whatever.
No, it's called a milk tube.
It's a milk, yeah, but is there much of a difference between a milk tube and a foam shot?
Yeah, because a foam shot's only about this big. A milk tube's
Yeah, I guess it's bigger. Yeah, I got you.
it's a lot bigger. So you're putting this whole
It's
tube.
like those the straws at McDonald's. Much bigger.
Much bigger. Especially the ones they put in their shakes when the goddamn ice cream machine is working.
Right.
Which is never.
No.
But
They're getting sued over that. They'll be back online or gone forever before you know it.
But these, oh Jesus Christ, are you kidding me?
There he is.
There he is.
Augie, what's up, buddy?
You mention his goddamn name, he fucking shows up.
There you go.
So Augie could much better explain what they're doing with their international pilsners than I can. I'm probably just raping the hell out of this crap. But Frusta, I'm going to drink Frusta. I love this beer. They know what the hell they're doing there.
Yeah, they do. That is for sure.
But these milk tubes at Human Robot, it seems gimmicky, but I got to say, it was tasty as fuck.
Hello.
Jesus Christ.
So guess who's on the show, folks?
Hey, Augie.
Hi guys.
How are you, sir?
Sorry,
Why is
I
Al-
was.
Why is Alacron muted?
I'm good. That's why I look so dark. See if you can hit a light.
Like, here you go.
Sorry
We were
about
just
that.
talking about
driving.
Frusta.
I was with the. Oh.
There you go.
Fun one. Who's drinking?
There he is. Dave was drinking Frusta.
I'm drinking Frusta. I love it.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
David-
I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's a little clear
David-
for you.
It's not quite hazy enough for me. You know, I did send you that shot with Chris and I at Andy's of boat not. I could see through it, Algie.
There you go. But Dave was trying to explain what makes it what makes Frust an Italian Pilsner.
Well, the truth is, it's kind of a joke. So Justin Kennedy, who I think some of you know, can you not hear me? I'm sorry, guys. I'm in the car.
No, we can hear you. We can hear you good.
Oh, perfect. So Justin Kennedy.
No, you just cropped that.
Crap
that, Augie.
Well, it depends on where he is, right? That one block that he was in before, that was perfect, but the next block he got to, not so much. You're back.
All right, let's assume it's not going to work. I love you. Okay, good. So anyway, he writes an Agostino at Beeritual Italiano, figuring out how to make Tipo pills. And what he was doing was trying to make a perfect German Pilsner and couldn't. But what he did was make a perfect German Pilsner with dry hopping, which becomes the Italian Pils. So that's our joke on Justin's article. Does that make sense?
Yes, so that's why you don't have a German Pils yet.
No, we have a Pils. We have an American Pils. We make what we
No,
think
I said German Pils.
should be making. No, we do have a German Pils. It's called Peitsche, which is the German version of Whip and is different than Frühstück.
That's right.
The lesson
I've not had that yet.
Yes.
Oh, it's better than anything you've ever had.
Right. But
is it better than Whip, though?
Because it costs them too much.
Yeah.
Depends what you're in the mood for. But so the lesson I took from what he was saying was I thought it'd be fun to go all German, but layer it. So it's Hallertauer Magnum for the bittering charge, Middle Few for the 10-minute and Whirlpool, and then Blanc for the dry hopping. So it's a study in German Hallertauer variants stacked through a German malt Pilsner yeasted fermented Pilsner, and then we just identify that as Italian in honor of Tipo Pils from Beeritualy / Justin's article / my wanted to fuck around with Hallertauer. How's that for an answer?
Hey, I 100% respect that. That's awesome.
Who else is on the show? Sorry, I can't read or look. I'm
That's
like
right.
I said, distracted.
It's Tony Drewry, a.k.a. Alacron. He lives in Terlingua, Texas. He's big in the beer scene down in Fort Worth. And he's out and he's coming from Terlingua, Texas right now.
Like in and out. Like the internet.
In and out from Terlingua, Texas. Yeah.
I imagine you're an official expert on lagers then, because what the hell else would you eat when it's hot? Drink when it's hot out.
Hey, I've had discussions with guys here in Texas a lot of the brewers here, and had prohibition not come to pass, a lot of these guys that make beer here believe that with all the Czech and German immigrants that had come to Texas, that this had very possibly have been the other place in the world that was as well known for pilsners as the Czech and German ones. There's been a lot of settlements here, a lot of history with the lagers here. Obviously, it gets hot, but and some of the best. I mean, there's probably 20 good pilsners to drink in and around Texas right now. I mean, more, but 20 really good ones.
Well, for me, it always comes down to how good is your water and how does it work for beer making. And what I can tell you is one of my favorite breweries in the world for the quality of the beers they make on top of their water is Jester King out by you guys. So if you got the water, you can make the beer.
Yeah,
then you just need.
And they have a unique situation that it's an artisanal well that they're the only ones that get to use that water to make that beer.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
And boy does Jeff make the most of it.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Fort Worth has got it pretty good too, because they built a lot of people know that Miller Lite was actually born in Fort Worth, Texas. There's a Miller brewery there, and when Miller built that brewery there in the 60s, they actually upgraded the entire city water system. And that's why Fort Worth, Texas has superior water in all the United States. But They pre-treated all the water that the entire city uses to this day, and that's why guys like that came on beyond Rar Brewing, Martin House, all these guys that came past have a really incredible opportunity to also use that water, and just people that live there get to drink it.
Yep.
That may be the first nice story I've ever heard about Miller Lite.
That is the only one. The only one I know.
And when I was coming up, that was my, everybody has their. Mine was Miller Lite, and I still never heard a good story about it the whole time. Like,
as was mine too.
That was my teenage beer, and
we've said it many times. If you're going to drink a light adjunct lager, Miller Lite's still the best.
My first job in the beer business was for the very first brewery in North Texas, and I remember going to a bar, one of the local dive bars, and I was like, "Come on, man, don't you want to try something new? We got a local beer." And he goes, "We got a local beer. It's called Miller Lite." I feel like that guy never bought a thing from me.
I'm sorry to say I went over the edge. Like, one of the downsides to opening a brewery is you make beer taste exactly the way you think it should taste. And although I was never that guy,
that's the upside.
The most recent times I've been in like a concert situation or whatever and said, "Oh, I'll just grab a Miller Lite." A decade later of only getting to drink beers you've made taste the way you think they should taste, or from friends who make beers the way you think they should do it, is I've lost my ability to choke one down anymore. And I'm not doing that to show off or be sad. It makes me sad that, at a wedding, I'm like, I don't know, can I have a gin
and tonic? That's what I go to. Yeah.
Well, hey, think about it this way: when you're at a wedding, you're off duty. You drink beer for a living, so it's okay for you to do whatever you want to do when you're not working. Right. I drink old fashions. I drink tequila and sotol and mezcal. And they're like, "I thought you were a beer guy." I go, "I'm not working right now, man. I drink a lot."
Well, see, I would be a beer guy if that's all right. Like, just give me a Sierra and I'm fine.
Right.
But I'll
tell you this.
The ability. Go on.
Way out here in the middle of nowhere, like we're on the edge. We're literally 10 to 12 miles from the Rio Grande, from Mexico right now. I am thankful for the growth of Sierra Nevada that we can get. Like, we have distribution of this great pale ale and all the IPAs they make now. That's the best beer I can get out here. I can still buy a 6-pack of that stuff.
Yeah, I actually had one for me the other day.
At the end of the line. This isn't even like on the way to somewhere else. They have to drive down here and drive back to bring us beer.
Together, yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. I'm sure the boys didn't bring me on to talk about my podcast on theirs, but I have a podcast where we drink blind beers out of black glasses. We have no idea what we're tasting. And the new one from Sierra called Powder Day showed up.
It's amazing. I love that beer.
And not only do I love it and think it's amazing, it somehow was fine and perfect in today's modern world with completely being an authentic forever Sierra product, right?
For
like
sure.
it's not like
I can echo that sentiment for sure.
Yeah, they didn't make a Trillium beer. They made a Sierra beer, but it's new and exciting and clean and wonderful and balanced. And I was like, so again, I didn't know what it was while I was drinking it. I was like, this is a really good beer. I'm really excited by this beer. And it turns out, of course, Ken made it. And I was like, fuck, well, of course.
Everything that got touches turned out. Hey, here's what you should try sometime. We've done this before. People have given us a hard time about shotgun and good beers. So I told
not me.
No.
He says,
this guy right here.
He goes, "You're not even enjoying it." Let me tell you what. Let me poke a hole in the bottom of a beer you pull out of your cooler I've never had before, and I'll drink it in 4 or 5 seconds, and I'll give you professional level tasting notes when I'm done. And I did, and he respected me after that because I told him things about that beer he hadn't even thought of. It's a different way of looking at it. I always look at things the same way.
Well, I'm a believer as a Jersey guy. If you're making beer, you should be making it for neighbors. And some of my neighbors are going to shotgun every beer. So we got to know how it tastes in that delivery
the
service
neighbors.
as well.
How many have we shotgun in the bottom of the
I do it for the people. I do it for the people because I got to know.
I'll play in a band called Shotgun Friday.
Shotgun Friday. That's your band name. Yeah.
That's the story behind that.
There you go.
That's the band name.
You know, I didn't when Shotgun Friday when that came up for that song
Hey,
before.
well, gentlemen, I'm going to cut out on you.
Yeah, get out of here. Hey, be safe on the road, Augie.
Augie,
You got
safe
it,
home,
Augie.
man.
Nice to talk to you
I'm
too.
going to say thank you for having me. It was nice talking to you. Get back to your show. I'm going to get my kids home safe. I will talk to you soon and be well.
You got it.
Your kids are in the car?
His kids were in the car.
Yeah.
Oh, they're older.
He's
But,
Still,
they're-
they're probably bored to death.
Well,
No,
probably not. No,
They're,
not at all.
they're raised by their dad.
They're raised right. There you go.
I mean, my kid's raised right, but she gets. I mean, my daughter has been to more breweries than most of the people I know, and she's just like, whatever, it's cool.
So has Augie dropped or is he just there? We go.
Yeah.
Now he's out.
So, but
Hey, I did want to go. I'm gonna go grab one more beer.
go grab one more beer. Go ahead.
I'm
I'm gonna have another beer too.
You know what I'm actually doing is I gotta go take a leak.
Well, we figured. See now here's the thing. Augie, when he's on a show, doesn't stop talking when he goes to.
No,
take a leak,
he
so.
like did it under the table or something. I remember you
No,
told
that
me
was another
No,
guy, but
No, one of the-
he goes off camera, but you hear it. So
A true professional. Well, I'm gonna go off into the desert for a second, and then I'll come back with a beer. I'll
You
see you in
got
a
it.
second.
Go piss on a scorpion for us.
really quick, while Tony's doing that, I'll actually. There you go. Look at that.
Oh, what is it? That's different.
I'll talk about it. I wanted to mention this, and we'll talk more about this actually next week, and in the weeks to come, because actually I want to get one of these, if not two, of breweries. We went to maybe just shy of a dozen breweries over the weekend in
Slacker.
and Lancaster and that. But I will tell you, and I'm gonna say this: there was some really good beer, but the best beer that I had for me, that I liked the best, and the experience that I had the best, and there were some that were close. You know, this one just edged it out, so to speak, was Our Town Brewing.
Our Town?
Our Town Brewery, yeah.
Wasn't that a play?
I believe so, yeah. But Our Town Brewery. So now they're using letters, right? So Our Town Brewery, what are the letters? OTB. I'm like walking in off-track betting here. I'm like, So, but in any event, OTB, I walk into Our Town. They had a Baltic Porter, which was phenomenal. They had a dark mild, which I had first, which was.
Oh God!
I was like, I literally looked at the guy. Tony was the bartender, and he actually works there most of the time, but he works at another brewery too, which we popped into. But I said I literally could sit here for 3 days and just drink this beer and do nothing else but drink this beer. So
the dark mild.
the dark mild, yeah,
Yeah.
it was amazing. And they had a bunch of other stuff too that was really good. They had a couple of pilsners. They had a Helles lager. A few things. And ironically, the brewer from our town used to brew at Mad Chef Brewing, which we were at yesterday.
Okay.
And their beers were really good too. And what do you think is a guest tap at Mad Chef? Would be the Helles lager from our town.
Our town.
Right, exactly. But in any event, yeah. I do have a our town brewery cap, but I didn't want to wear it today because I'm trying to get them on the show. So I'll wear it that
awesome.
day. There you go.
So they're out in Lancaster.
They're in Lancaster, yeah. They're on Lancaster,
Okay.
on North Prince Street in Lancaster.
So
and,
here's the thing. My company just gave us
Tasty beer.
2 extra days off because
Hi, Daisy.
there she is.
You almost got
Daisy, Daisy.
you almost got eaten by coyotes, man. It's a good thing I went out there.
Really?
No, not at all. I'm just joking.
You do know that science finally proved that that lady said a coyote ate my baby, that she wasn't lying.
Really?
She said a
Remember-
dingo ate her baby.
Yeah, it was a dingo that ate her baby.
Hey,
yeah.
listen, if
The
you guys
dingo
want a
ate my baby.
You want
Dingo
a
ate
good
my baby.
book recommendation?
Yeah.
I'm reading a book right now called Coyote America. I say Coyote because I learned
Coyote.
Spanish.
Coyote.
The proper
All the vowels
pronunciation.
in Spanish are the same. Coyote America is a great book by the name of Dan Flores. Really interesting.
Dan, say his name again.
Dan Flores. This is a
Dan
New
Flores.
York Times bestseller. Pick this book up. You will not be sorry you did it because it'll change the way you think by coyotes and yourself as a human.
Coyote Americana.
Coyote Americana. I like coyote better because that's a coyote.
Coyote.
Where's the O in coyote?
Hey, do you know that
coyote.
when Americans first came to this continent and started taking over everything, they didn't even know what these things were. They'd never seen one before.
You mean Europeans came to the continent because Americans were here long before
when they made themselves Americans.
When the Europeans came over here and turned themselves into Americans, right? Yeah.
Named after Amerigo Vespucci.
Hey, that's a longer discussion we'll have on top of this plateau when you get here.
There you go. That works.
This is still very much Mexico, man, and the influence it gets forgotten, but it's really important. But Lewis and Clark called these things prairie wolves for I don't know 15 years before some other explorer came down here and spent some time with the people here for tens of thousands of years, and they're like, no, those are coyotes. And he's like,
coyotes.
Those are prairie wolves. I'm like, no, those are prairie wolves. They're not jackals. They're their own thing. They're very and no matter how much we've tried to destroy them, they have actually not only survived but thrived, and they thrive. They've spread across this continent as much as humans have, and in a parallel way. It's pretty cool. It's an interesting story.
I was in Cape Cod, and I was talking to. I had heard coyotes in the place I was staying, and no one believed me. And I talked to one of the naturalists in the area. We were at one of their, like one of the state natural sites. They were setting up for the season. I was speaking to him. He's like, "Yeah, the coyotes here, they're bred with wolves." So on Cape Cod, you've got this hybrid, and they're forced because
is it a wolf odie?
A wolf odie, no,
or a coy wolf.
It's just this hybrid, and they like to raid the plover nest. The plovers are a nesting bird they're protected,
right?
So because they're protected, I said to him, he's like, well, we got methods to take care of them. I'm like, oh, so you use rubber bullets and other things? He goes, yeah, we use bullets of other makes as well to take care of them.
Right. So, and our government, the United States government, for decades has spent millions of dollars laying poison out for these coyotes. They've literally
tried to eradicate them, right?
Hey, we also, the government also, park rangers in Yellowstone shot wolves and coyotes and things like that on site. I mean, it's a really interesting tale, and it puts a lot of perspective on things. And I don't know what your feelings are on coyotes, but I like them. I've always liked them.
Oh, I
not
love
because
them.
of cartoons, but because they're native. They're part of this thing for longer than we have been.
But you brought up another point there. Is our government at times has,
done a lot of stupid shit.
Yeah, back in the day.
You can quote me on that. If you have
we've practiced genocide, but also specieside, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But the coyote is a cool story because no matter how hard they've tried, there have been coyotes in Central Park in New York City.
Oh God, yes.
Hold on, I got last August. All right, I'm golfing at a golf course, and it's a public golf course, but it's like semi-private public golf course down here in Monmouth County, in New Jersey, not too far from the beach, right? And as we're going
Shark
around,
River?
Shark River.
Yeah.
So as we're going around, the hole one is a huge dog leg to the, no pun intended, dog leg to the left, right? And so we hit the ball out, curve it, boom, blah, blah, and we're going up to find our balls, right? And we're driving up in the car. Right?
You don't own your balls.
We left them home. I know. Yeah.
Driving balls.
But, right. So anyway, as we come around the dog leg, there's two baby coyotes running, like playing with each other back and forth on the fairway, right, on that part of it, just like maybe about 100 yards before the green, maybe a little less. And so we pull up to them on the fairway, and we're just kind of sitting there, kind of finally scare them away, and they run back into the woods. As we pull up to where they ran into the woods, there's the mother standing there just staring at us. We're like, screw our balls, let's go.
And she probably didn't want to do it. She was probably more curious about you than anything. And The fear that
Well,
we have of them has been.
I wasn't afraid. I was just worried that she was pissed off that we scared her kids away. That kind of a thing.
Anyway, hey, I'm going to show you this. This
I
is
say, Alacron, you showed us a bottle that was
what is
not
that?
the snake venom bottle.
Yeah, what is that?
What are we looking at here?
Please tell
Okay,
us.
so this is not beer, but in the context of beer, it's pretty cool because the Spanish were the ones that brought distillation to Mexico. But for way before that, people had been fermenting the natural plants that grow in and around Mexico for a long, long time. And sotol and the agaves were some of them. So when you make any distilled spirit, you start out by making essentially a beer, and the pulque and things like that come from that. So while the stuff's fermenting in these open barrels, you can just literally dip a cup like this inside of it and drink the juice, and it's about 4.5–5%. It's not, particularly tasty, but it's good. But this is a bottle that they made. This is a small batch of one kind. This is the only 300 bottles of this that ever existed. And 100 years after Prohibition. Prohibition wasn't the same in Mexico, but Prohibition in the United States affected Mexico. And, back in the early 1900s, nobody knew what tequila was unless you lived along the border. Like, we know what tequila is now because they got a great marketing campaign. Jose Cuervo got a great marketing campaign in the 70s. Tequila's been around for a long time, and every region of Mexico makes something that's akin to tequila. They fermented these plants for forever. Well, these guys do a festival. They make this sotol, and to kind of commemorate what life was like 100 years ago, when they would age this stuff, they had to bury it in the ground. So they made 300 bottles. This is a 300 bottle batch. I helped these guys bury these bottles in the dirt. It has a cork.
A cork.
Mm-hmm.
And they are corked in the ground, so it literally takes on the earth that these plants grew in. And this is a really special thing. So they do a festival called the Entierro Sotolero, the Sotol Burial, and they bury these bottles for a year. And a year later, we dig them up and we come back, and I have to pay for these bottles. I can each person that comes can buy up to 4 liters, which is 750 milliliter bottles.
Milliliters, not 750 liters, Dave. Milliliters.
My favorite batches this guy's ever made. But it's for all the stuff I learned about beer and all the special releases and the ways they age them. It's really cool that people in a completely different culture and a completely different idea kind of do the same thing and do it in a different way. So here's
I got two things here. One, you'll have some of that when we come visit, right?
Oh, we'll go get some of it. I'll take you where they make it. It's only an hour and a half from here.
So number 2, so
I know we're beer guys, but trust me.
No, I'll drink it. No, I'm a spirit guy too.
We're good.
But number 2 here is you got those people in the U.S. that know tequila. I'm like, oh my God, I know tequila. And then there's those people in the U.S. that know the difference between tequila and mezcal. You have now introduced us to a different level of sotol.
Sotol.
Both
those are the same. In Espanol, las vocales.
Okay.
A, E, I.
U.
Wait. A, E, I, O, U.
A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. Yeah, you remember that. You remember that from Spanish class?
A, E, I, O, U.
I'm Italian. I don't know this.
Every word in Spanish, every vowel is A, E, I, O, U.
So
it's muy importante.
Muy importante.
I've learned at the end of one of the trips we took about, I think it's probably a year and a half ago now. I said to these guys at the end of the night around a fire, I said, "Hey, my Spanish is getting pretty good, right?" And he looked at me and he's so serious, and he goes, "It's pretty good, but you still sound like a hillbilly."
That's awesome.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
But
that's great.
So we've got tequila, we got mezcal, we got sotol.
You've also got raicilla, bacanora, Bush. I mean, they make rum down in Oaxaca.
Really?
I mean,
Really?
they make rum in a couple. And Porsche comes from Chiapas, and it's made from maize and
Jesus Christ.
heirloom varieties of corn.
John, we
And,
got a whole nother show.
I think
Dude.
so.
No, I know this is the wrong podcast for all this stuff, but it's interesting stuff. Especially
That
for
one's
a
we're going to
beer-
start them on Thursday nights. So
No. That is
all
not
the
the
things I've
wrong
learned about
podcast for
beer
this.
and the way we brew beer and the history of why we ever did it and why we still do it. I've really been drawn into these producers of this stuff that is, they've been making it for a long time, a lot longer than anybody in the U.S. has been making beer. And there's so many parallels. And craft beer in Mexico is actually it's on the rise, and it's about 20 years behind what craft beer is here.
And that's only because you've got the major beer producers have squashed it as much as they
No, for
possibly
sure.
can.
Do you know that 90% of the beer in Mexico is owned by Heineken and Grupo Modelo, which is
Sure.
actually
absolutely.
AB InBev.
Yep.
And there are a handful of small producers, and almost every bar we went to in Oaxaca had Victoria, Modelo, and what's the other one? There was no Indio, there was no Tecate. Those are owned by the other brands, but it's crazy because pre-prohibition in the U.S., a brewery could just come in and say, "Hey, you're opening a bar. We'll give you chairs and tables and signs and taps and everything you need. You just got to sell our beer." And that was an unfair advantage. That's still like a 100% everyday business.
It's worse. It's worse than that because what happens is the two major players that have actually merged in Mexico, they buy up all of the liquor licenses.
Yes.
And if you want to buy if you need a liquor license in Mexico, you need to then buy it from them. And if you're going to buy it from them, they then dictate what beers you can sell. So the small craft breweries, the microbreweries, do not have a chance to get on these taps.
Well, yeah,
because
we didn't
in some places
have a chance here until people bought the system and changed it and modernized it. And that's to speak of Texas, Texas is a good case study in all this because just like every other state in the union, we had really antiquated beer laws, and 80 years later, a lot of them but there's been a lot of work in that, and it's just we have to unfuck all this, man. And that's what there's a lot of people doing that work in Mexico. They're about 20 years behind, but it's cool to be a gringo that gets to come down there. I'm not a gringo anymore. I'm a widow. Gringo.
Okay. Explain the difference here between gringo and
it's contextual, and not everything translates from one language to the next. But typically, to be called if they called you a gringo, that would not necessarily be the nicest thing they could say about you.
Dave. When we go out there, that's what they're going to call us.
Yeah, we're gringos. Yes,
right. And within if you were born and raised in Mexico and your skin was a little lighter than the others, they would just call you widow. It's a good when you earn a nickname in anywhere in Mexico, it is literally, you may not like it, but it's an honest thing that they give you. Like if you get a nickname, that's why Alacran was such a it was it was funny at first, but it was really heartwarming to me because these guys really put a lot of thought into that. They didn't just call me. They didn't think I looked like a scorpion or I was so cool I was the scorpion. They thought about it. They said, you live in the desert and you seem like you're everywhere, but you're really hard to find. When you guys come out here, you think scorpions are everywhere, and they are. But when we go looking for them, you can't
gotta look for
find one. And
you got to overturn every goddamn rock, right?
You're not brown, but you're not really the whitest guy I've ever met. So you're kind of like that creamy brown color in between. And you only attack when you're provoked. And they put a lot of thought into that. And that culture, it goes a long way into all of this. So
you talk about scorpions. I just want to throw this in there really quick. You talk about you got to look for them, right? My daughter's boyfriend, when he was actually in the minor leagues in the Reds organization, he was in spring training out in Arizona, right? And he's in his room in the hotel dorm, whatever the hell they call it, for the minor leaguers. And he wakes up one morning, and and he's laying on his back on the bed, and he wakes up one morning and looks at the ceiling over his head, and there's 3 scorpions crawling on the ceiling over his head. So that was a fun way to wake up for him.
Meet a buddy of mine.
What's that?
This is Terry. He's coming in. Come on this side.
Who's coming in?
Hi guys, how y'all doing?
How's it going?
Terry.
What's his name?
Jerry.
Terry.
How's it going, Jerry?
Hey, this is the nicest, most wonderful guys you'll meet in your whole life. His favorite kind of beer is a West Coast IPA. For all the beers I've brought down here, I've never met anybody that's so specific about the kind of beers they like. And I've given them some, and like everybody's making all these wild IPAs with all these different Northeast, what I don't even know. They make a Dust Coast IPA in Lubbock now.
Dust Coast.
Dust Coast. I like that.
Dust Coast.
Hey, Good Line Beer Co. Look these guys up.
Good Line Beer Co.
Good Line Beer Co.
And Buddy Hollytown. Anyway, Terry is a guy I've known for a long time. He's a good buddy of mine. He actually iced all the beer down today, and so he's been the production manager for our show here on this end. So I wanted to give him a hello and so he can say hi. Cheers, buddy.
Hey, nice meeting you.
Cheers.
Guys.
He's drinking wine. Oh man,
He's drinking wine.
Drinking
Look
wine.
at that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
Hey, y'all need to
I had wine on Saturday.
Hey, y'all come visit here in the desert, man. We'd
come
love to have
visit
you.
Big
We're gonna
Ben.
come out. We're definitely gonna plan it. We're gonna come out.
Yeah, we
Hey,
plan
I'm
this.
I'm gonna be a little busy most of this year, but we'll go from there. So,
Yeah,
Hey,
I may
well,
get
listen,
that.
it's,
I may
it's
get
been the
that
same
before
for-
Johnny does.
there you
It's
go.
been the same
We'll
for
figure it
millions
out.
of years. It's not going to change before you get here. But don't waste your time.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Jerry. Good
Nice
meeting you.
Jerry.
Terry.
Terry.
I
Good
thought
meeting
it
you,
was
Terry.
Terry. Yeah,
Terry,
Nice
Jerry,
meeting
there
Hey,
you
his twin brother's name was Jerry. So
There you
Terry
go.
and Jerry.
Terry and Jerry.
What? Wait a second. His twin brother's name was Jerry.
yes, Jerry is. He's no longer with us. He was a good man to put a lot of good things in this world. So
Cheers to Jerry.
cheers to Jerry.
Just easy,
I've
Jerry.
got nothing left to
There you
drink
go.
except I've got a bottle here. Cheers, to Jerry.
There you go. And great meeting Terry too. That's awesome. That's definitely awesome. Yeah. No. I mean, I think
Hey,
since
when you come to the desert, we'll do a rollout through.
yeah, and
take
Dave,
you guys
well,
to the backyard, and you won't even believe that it's a backyard.
we're gonna get out. We're gonna get out there together, Dave. Don't worry. We're gonna get out there together. So it's fine.
Yeah, as you're gonna
Hey,
have some work ahead of you.
I
man.
do
Well,
wanna
we'll figure it
take,
out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll get out.
Can I take a half a second? I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna do what I did last time. I'm actually gonna go bring you back one more bottle of stuff that's gonna
Go
make
for
you
it.
guys laugh because we've talked
Oh,
about
gotta
it.
see this.
Go for it, and then we'll do the top 3 list. Go for it.
Yeah,
All right, do that. I'll be. Give me 2 minutes.
You got it.
2 minutes.
2.
So in those 2 minutes, we got 2 minutes to fill.
We got 2 minutes, Phil. I was just gonna say to finish what I was saying before. We want to get Our Town Brewery from Lancaster on the show. A couple others, maybe 1 or 2 others, maybe. Lot of. It was a good scene out there. Really cool town. Yeah, it was a fun weekend. It was a fun weekend.
Well,
So
My weekend, I wound up at a place that I tend to call Abe's every now and then. That's only because of a place in Wallington.
yeah,
Speaking
not
of Polish,
It's Andy's. It's not
It's
Abe's
Andy's-
Corner Tavern. It's Andy's Corner
Bar.
Bar.
Andy's Corner is a market that's in Wallington. So the Polish beer I'm drinking ties into that because
Right.
they've got some of the best goddamn kielbasa and kapanosi. If you're Polish, they smoke.
They have good Glumke there.
Golomki, pierogi.
Pierogi, sure.
Oh yeah, but the pierogi ruski.
Well, no, this is in Wallington, right? That's a
It's in
stretch.
Wallington.
Polish in
That's a
Wallington? No, not at all. No.
So the great thing about being in Wallington is you go through, a lot of towns you'll see bars that have like the Budweiser or the Miller signs up. You go through Wallington, it's the Jiviots. You got Jiviot signs in the goddamn
yeah,
bars.
Jiviot's everywhere. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's or Tishki
Yeah.
or the Tishki.
Speaking of that, I'm going to throw up my. I got to throw up my.
You're
my
gonna
third.
throw up?
I got to throw up. Yeah, and I got to throw up my
Go
third
for it.
beer. My third beer I'm drinking is. Hold that thought, Alacron. I'm drinking Twilight Sky. It's actually a.
This is the collab.
This is the
Yes.
Ross and.
So Ross
Cypress,
is PJ Windle.
PJ Wendell, and Charlie from Cypress. They collabed on Twilight Sky. It's a Dunkel. It's a Dunkelweizen.
I know you like your Dunkels.
I love my Dunkels.
Huge fan of Dunkels. I know you.
I love Dunkels. I love my German style dark wheat ales. So but in any event, it's really tasty. And what they did with this is actually they brewed the same batch and then they split it. They split the cost of it since they're brewing it at the same location and they're releasing it themselves. They actually did 2 labels for it, and half of it went to Cypress and half of it went to Ross. So it was pretty cool. Yeah. So this one's a Ross one, but it's the same thing. So there you go. Anyway.
So it's Alacron.
What'd you bring back?
What he brought. I'm actually going to go take a leak like he did earlier. Oh my God!
Okay. Very nice.
Mezcal. I'll be right back.
Oh, look at that with a scorpion in it. Look at that.
It's the biggest scorpion I've ever seen in one of these bottles.
And by the way,
I'm not even going to drink this stuff because it's actually not very tasty. Like putting a worm or a scorpion or anything in these, most of these things is all marketing. It's not because it actually enhances the flavor.
It doesn't do anything to it. Yeah, right. Because all it does is emulsify the damn worm or scorpion or whatever they put in it. Right. So,
and even like Jose Cuervo, the gold. The reason they call it gold and not añejo is because they don't age it. They use coloring.
Is that right?
Aging any Mexican spirits in oak barrels is not a traditional thing. That's a whiskey thing. And that's all marketing that has been put out there. Like once tequila has always been clear. So does all agave spirits. And
so an añejo is not a traditional Mexican.
Añejo, that's why Cuervo Gold is not called an añejo because it's not aged in a barrel. It is literally
they just add coloring. They take the silver and they add coloring to it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So. I don't know. I think it's there's a lot about tequila we think we know, and but in the same regard, there's a lot about beer we think we know. Yep. But almost everything that most of us know about beer is about the business of beer and not about the history of beer.
Well, back when I was in my early 20s, back in 1991, and I spent about 10 days in Cancun, I thought that I was having I did have a relationship with Cuervo Gold. What did I know when I was in my early 20s, right? But
well, I think that the reason most people like that hate tequila is because the only time they've ever had it, it's been too much Cuervo Gold. You know, it's just like drinking too much Budweiser.
And it definitely did happen down there. I have to say,
sure.
between Corona, Modelo, Dos Equis, and Cuervo Gold, I probably didn't have anything other than coffee to drink for the first 8 days I was there. Yeah, it wasn't fun the 9th day. So let's put it that way.
The coffee in Oaxaca was off the chain.
Was it?
That was one of the of all the things one of the first trips I've ever gone on, and I go on a lot of these where I got to shoot a lot of different sets of photos. I shot food. I always tell people when I'm taking pictures of my food, they look at me funny because like, man, why the hell are people still taking pictures of food?
Right.
I'm like, it's for my food blog. And they go, you have a food blog? And I go, no. But I've already I've given a reason for shooting a picture of food. But I shot food. I shot mezcaleros. I shot portraits. I shot landscapes. I shot architecture. I shot Mexican street photography. Like it was a really cool journey. And I'm working on a thing. I've got TonyDrewry.com up and running.
Nice.
I haven't propagated it with a lot of stuff yet, but I've got some big plans for that stuff. Very nice. I want to start telling backstory and the inside stories of these trips I've been taking because I've been shooting stuff for years, and I'm kind of tired of social media. It's a terrible way to give your stuff for free.
It's amazing stuff, folks. We'll put some of this stuff up, and we'll share some of his website too on the log room.
If you even look at the splash screen,
it's just amazing.
We put up of the selfie that he took.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that was inadvertently one of the best pictures I took in that field.
That's a beautiful picture.
As a photographer, like every once in a while you gotta, and I do this for my mom. She always says, thanks for all the photos, but like, can you send me a couple of you? And I'm like, I don't take pictures of you. I take pictures of other people.
I'm the same way.
She goes, well, how do you know you were there? I go, Mom, I was there.
I took the pictures.
So I actually took that selfie that I took, the one with the agave bloom, the one that I sent to you today. That was actually a photo mom.
There it is.
So that she would know that I was there, that I was actually the guy behind the camera, even though I was the guy sending her all the photos that I'd taken on this trip.
That's great. Love it.
And there's the hat.
And the hat. Yeah, there you go. Right there.
So this hat is literally, I got it in at the end of 2000. You asked earlier, and I cut out on the internet. I've had this hat since 2018, and it looks so nice when I got it. And I think it looks way better now. And my favorite part is this. Some guy asked me, he goes, you know, it's like a lot of ways you can, like names for the ways you shape your hat. This dent right here, and this dent right here are actually called a double Fort Worth punch.
Double Fort Worth punch.
Yeah,
really.
It's all style and fashion.
Sounds like a good name for Martin House to come out with a beer for it.
There you go.
But it's also like a way men in the past.
Of course, it'll be a kettle sour with a lot of fruit in it. But
definitely a kettle sour.
men who would hold women to a certain standard would come up with their own certain standards of fashion, but never want to be held to standards of fashion. But a double Fort Worth punch is like a thing I can notice in a hat anywhere I go. And but this one, this bend in the back of the hat, some guy asked me, he goes, "What's that called?" I go, "Well, I drove all night from the Big Bend and made it to Austin. I wanted to go see my boys at the coffee shop, but they didn't open until 7 a.m. I got there at 5:30 a.m. So I leaned my head back in my truck for a few minutes and took a nap while I was waiting for them to open. And it curled up the back of my hat, and it stayed like that ever since." He goes, "Damn, that's cool." I go, "It's cooler than you think."
There you go.
That is cool.
That's great. Gotta love it. All right. Well, we're speaking of Texas. We're talking about a lot of stuff, and we just brought up the double Fort Worth punch. This is a perfect time to do our top 3 list, especially since we have a top 3, especially since we're at 2 hours and 11 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah, we've got a lot of time.
2 minutes and 11 hours into the podcast. But so we'll let's do our top 10. Top 10. Here we go again. I always say that. That's tomorrow night. That's tomorrow night. Top 3 list tonight. Top 3 list tonight is top 3 favorite Texas breweries. Shocker.
Why would we do that with
why would we do that? And it's the first time we're doing top 3 favorite Texas breweries on the show, period. And, of course, with Tony as well.
And
so.
you guys suck for putting me on live to say this stuff out loud. Like, I'm going to get a lot of...
Well, that's why I asked you if it was okay with you before we did it. So.
No, I agreed to it but I wanted you to know that, like, here where we are live, like, man, are you really going to put me on the spot like this?
Well, here's the whole thing, Tony. When we do our top 3s, we're never held to them because we've actually like a year later revisited the same top 3s,
and it's changed.
Well, for Johnny, it changed. It didn't change.
Well, for you, it didn't change.
It didn't change. But
top anything is always relative. It's in the moment, and my top
it's relative and in the moment, and that's what preface everything with. So exactly.
It's relative and temporal.
My top 3 tonight are going to be in some relevance, like some things that have happened recently. And you know, if you ask me this question, what are the top 3 breweries in Texas? I'll tell you a different answer every time.
Sure.
And you can't really narrow it down with the top 3. It's only what I think. My opinion doesn't matter, only to me. So,
your opinion matters to us, Tony.
Absolutely.
So
thank you.
Throw us your opinion at this point in time, right at this second. What are your top 3 breweries in Texas?
Okay. Well, I'll start with number 1 in relevance to the moment. Austin Beer Works.
Austin.
Well, I'm not just saying this because this guy left like 15 cases of beer here at my house.
That was a joke.
No, it was totally not a joke. But I've loved these guys since the day they started. They run one of the cleanest businesses out there. Everything they've done before and after the pandemic has been about making the highest quality beer and taking care of the people that work for them. Their motto is quality of beer, quality of life,
right.
And hold to that. And really, like, I've had a close connection with these guys since the very beginning. On my 37th birthday, 10 and a half years ago, I received a gift. It was this chainsaw carved redwood, chainsaw carved out of redwood, a bald eagle that was so wide I couldn't even take home from the party without rolling both the windows down in the back of my truck. But I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I left that thing it hangs today in Austin Beer Works It hanging their original brewery above the brew house, and they started hanging all the GABF medals and the World Beer Cup medals. Those all hung on that eagle, and it hung over every batch of beer they brewed. And now, when they built a new facility, it hangs in the tap room, and they've hung even more and more medals on it. These guys are one of my favorite breweries in Texas because they've always made super high quality beer. They got some of the best branding. The guy that has done all their cans is really, I mean, he's won multiple awards in marketing and advertising. And my eagle still flies over this thing and watches over everything with every medal these guys ever won. And they're just as humble and good, and they make the best high quality beer, and they self-distribute everything. They don't use distributors. They built their own distribution. Like, they've got a whole fucking maintenance wing where they take care of all these trucks, and they put all this beer. They're the guys that made the 99 pack of beer. Did you ever hear about that?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pabst did not invent that. Not Austin Beer Works did that. Pabst stole it. Austin Beer Works called them out on it, and Pabst had to do they had a little flat because they did their own thing and didn't ask, and they ended up donating $9,999 to a charity in Austin, but only because they had to, not because they did it because they got called out. So Austin Beer Works for sure. And
Austin Beer Works
one of the guys I used to work for him was just out here, and we had a great Terlingo time. So those guys, and then also this guy right here, Michael Pedicolis, and the crew that he's built and the brewery they built, they are the top notch in the way they do business. They've grown incrementally. They never pushed it out. He didn't package his beer until he built the brand up enough to where he never wanted his beer to sit on the shelf. We're going to make it such a demand. They ran for about 2 or 3 years before they ever even had a salesman. Every drop of beer they sold called the brewery and asked if they could have it.
That's awesome.
And he's very unique in the way he does it. So Pedicolis, Austin Beer Works, and I could say a lot about both these guys, but we'll say that for another day. And then I'm going to just go ahead and throw in for relevance and in the moment, the other guys I was drinking from, False Idol, man. These guys are kind of young and unknown, and they're a neighborhood brew pub, and they're in a part of Fort Worth that not a lot of people go to like they go to the central parts. But they've hired a great head brewer. They've got a good group of guys that own it. They opened up in an old, I guess it was like an auto maintenance place with bay doors that open, and they turned it into a brewery.
Oh, really?
And that guy Terry that was just here, his family owned a dairy farm on this land for 5 generations in Texas.
Really?
Which is a huge thing. That's awesome. His grandma actually used to own that was her land. Her barn was where these guys' brewery used to be, and the house that he lives in Fort Worth is right by there. So these guys are doing some cool things, and there's a lot of keep an eye on these guys.
Absolutely.
Next time I'm out there, yeah. I wish they had been open when I was when I visited. Yeah.
All right, cool. That's awesome. Samurai, what are your top 3?
So my top 3 are not a 1, 2, 3, as has been common for me. I've got them in different categories.
Of course you do.
So one category is brewery that I've actually been to in Texas. That experience is not huge. It's really predicated on one visit I made for my company was out there in Plano.
Plano.
Holy moly, dude.
And it's
even I knew that.
Plano. So
it's just plain. There ain't nothing out there. Plano, Texas.
No, not a lot out there. There's money out there.
And unfortunately, it's known for one thing. Well, for one bad thing.
Heroin.
Well, yeah, there's that, but there's actually known for 2 things because that's where the Dallas Stars play. It's in Plano.
Well, that too, yeah. So.
There's that, but
hey, nothing actually happens in Dallas. They just name stuff Dallas because Dallas has good marketability.
Sure,
everything's out of it. But the
Cowboys play in Arlington.
I think I visited 4 breweries while I was out there, and so I'm going to throw out there one of my favorite brewery that was out there. I'm not going to say this was spectacular considering what they were up against, but still they had some damn good beer. There's a place called Odd Muse. Nice space.
No, that's great.
Yeah, they're doing some good. They're doing some good stuff out there. They've not been around a long time, so I expect a lot of the stuff to dial in a little better than what I experienced. But still, what I experienced was damn good. Odd Muse, got to give them a nod. So for breweries that I've actually been to in Texas, number one right there. For the next brewery I'm going to mention, I've not really had any of their beers that they have actually brewed. I've had their recipe brewed many, many times by other breweries. And what I love about them is what they have done for the beer world, and that is Weathered Souls. So
San Antonio, right?
Yeah, Black is Beautiful is something they came out with to really enhance.
That guy had an impact across the United States with that.
Across the United States, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah. The impact they made there with Black is Beautiful. And I've had many, many, many of the variations of the recipe that they put out there for anybody to use. And unlike what is it? What was the other one? In This Together, or there was an IP.
Oh no! All together.
So also all together. No one was supposed to vary off the recipe.
That was supposed to be the same all over. Yeah.
All over, and it wasn't.
Mr. King did a great version of that.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not like an IPA brewery.
No, they're
not. They're not at all.
Hey, but they've been making some good lagers. I'll tell you that.
But so when Weather Souls put theirs out, they invited everyone to do their own take on it. Mm-hmm. They put this recipe, do your own take. And I had so many different takes, some from Jersey, a bunch from Jersey, a bunch from Rhode Island, a bunch from across the country, Massachusetts, Maine. And I love what they have done for the community of those African-American, Black, whatever terminology you want to use, owned breweries across the United States.
Sure.
They did well to drive this. And it was that movement where anybody who was protesting against anything that happened against the Black community, every dollar went towards the legal fees. Yeah. That was taken for that. And, hats off to them. So I've got to give them a nod. I got to throw them in my top threes.
There you go.
For what they've done, the stand that they made. Yeah. You've got to love that.
And not just as far as the impact that it made. I mean that.
Sure.
I think that was something in his mind in the beginning that just an idea, but man, it really that took on. That became a really huge thing, and I saw that ripple across the United States. Man.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool for a lot of reasons. So.
It was a pebble thrown into a pond.
Yeah, and the ripples went long and wide.
And the cool thing is, they put out that chalice, the Black is Beautiful chalice, and if you reached out to them, it was not at one point. It looked like it was hard to get because you just went on the website; it was always sold out. If you reached out to them and said, I need this, they're like, okay, give me 5 minutes. And that's how I got mine. Give me 5 minutes. And all of a sudden, there was one available. Mm-hmm. That's how I got mine. They're I love these guys. I love what they stand for. I love what they do. They had to be in my top threes. They absolutely had to be in my top threes.
And who's your number one?
My number one is going to be, it's hard not to put them at number one. And so number one, it's not number one, John. It's not number one. This is I went with breweries I've been to in Texas.
Been to, had the recipe, and had the beer. Go ahead.
And then
not been to, but had the beer.
The breweries that I've had the most beers from and that I love the most. How can you not go with Jester King on there?
Right.
What they do. Al Khan has mentioned the artisanal well they have. They've got this fantastic water, and so many people
Hey, that's just a drop in the like. Literally, pardon the pun, but that is just a drop in the bucket of what.
But it's a drop in the bucket. But for every brewery out there, the water is everything.
Right. When I do beer education stuff, I always ask the trick question: what's the most important ingredient in beer?
It's water.
And the trick answer is that they're all important ingredients. That with one of them, you have beer, but you have to start with the water, and the water makes everything. Like the water that all these styles originated from was the most important ingredient because that's kind of defined what they did with all the rest of the ingredients they had. So
there you go.
Well, I've got 3 bottles of Samuel Smith in my beer fridge right now, and it's all about the water with them.
Of course it is.
You know,
water is. Look, every brewery can access the same hops. Yep. Every brewery can access the same malt, whether they buy it or not, whether they can get it or not. But they have the ability to possibly get
water
the same
is the most local
malt.
ingredient in every beer.
Absolutely.
We had, and I can say it safely now because he's already come on the show. Augie Carton Brewing has they pull the water out of a water table that has a slight salinity to it, and 2 of their beers absolutely 100% rely on that salinity.
Digger.
No, not even Digger. It's their 2 flagships.
Augie 3 more times.
No Dub, yeah. Bo No Dub.
We see Augie a couple more times, and he'll like pop back on. That was cool.
Nah. Well, once a show, that's fine.
I think we're safe.
There you go. We're good.
I mean, it was good though. Like
he just texted me. He just texted me. He's happy he popped on. So there you go. So.
Good. Oh, we love having him on the show. As much as we make fun of him, we love having him on the show.
All right.
So Jester King, number 1, because I've had so many of their beers. I've enjoyed almost every. Yeah, no, I
not almost everyone. You've enjoyed every
single goddamn
Absolutely.
beer.
They make a really great and unique and very Texas, these guys are buying hops from a guy. There was only one guy in Texas that's ever figured out how to grow hops here in Texas. And it's here just north of where I live in Terlingua in Alpine. The soil and the climate and the elevation are all kind of similar to the Yakima Valley. He actually, for a couple of years, grew about 10 acres of hops of all different varieties. And he told me that people told him he couldn't grow hops south of a certain latitude, like that it wouldn't happen. But he came from Oregon. Well, I mean, and nobody has. He's one of the first guys that ever did it. And he started growing these hops, and nobody knew what to do with them. But they were Texas grown hops. And Jester King bought them all when they were all kind of old and cheesy for the beers they do that aren't hop forward. Right. And Jester King is one of the first breweries that's made kind of a Texas estate ale because they were able to use that artesian well water, like Tex malt and Blackland malt. There's malt growers here in Texas now, and there's even a yeast company in San Antonio that has cultivated a couple strains that come from the Big Bend. They came up in the Big Bend
nice
and have cultivated this strain of Big Bend yeast that several of my friends across the state have made. There's one guy that makes a beer in Midland called the Texas Estate Ale, and it's really cool. Things are coming along here, but in a very different way. We've got all these different climate zones and everything, but people are actually growing hops here out in the wild.
That's awesome.
And Jester King was one of the first people to adopt that. So some of the beers they brewed have actually had Texas-grown hops in it, if you can believe that.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. So much happier that it's on my list then.
There you go.
Hey, and those guys have helped change a lot of they've helped unfuck a lot of the laws that have been prohibition.
And that's always a good thing to do. All right, I'll run through my top 3. I'll just list them really quick. I don't have to. I'm not even going to get into it. My number 3, because here's the thing, Tony, you've obviously had a lot more Texas beer than I have. Dave, actually, I've been to.
Hey, you've had more New Jersey beer than I'll ever have.
This is true. Well, it depends on how much we bring with us, though. But
we'll bring some with us.
If you come out here without beer, I don't even know you anymore.
And Tony, Augie's beer, I will be bringing some Augie.
Please do.
Some Augie beer. Yeah, it's not carton anymore. It's Augie beer.
So you don't have to buy it all.
We'll take care of it. But
always support your brewery,
but I'll give you. Of course. No, we'll take care of that. But I'll just throw my top 3 in there. Number 3, Raw and Sons. Number 2.
Our first job in the beer business.
There you go. Number 2, Martin House.
Doesn't surprise me.
I've just had I've probably had almost as much Martin House as I have number 1.
I'm saving until you guys get here. I have 2 cans left of that menthol squid ink.
Oh, Jesus.
There you go. Perfect.
I have 2 cans of
experience.
There you go.
One we're going to shotgun, and the other we're going to enjoy.
There you go. Perfect. There you go. So Raw & Sons, Martin House, and number 1, no surprise here, Jester King. So there you go. Easy peasy. So anyway.
Hard to argue with that.
There you go. All right. This was absolutely a ridiculously great show.
A really good time.
We keep topping ourselves every time you're on, Tony. Every time.
I want to tell you guys, I think the reason that we've had such a good success with connectivity over the last maybe 30, 45 minutes is because everybody finally watched all their Netflix and went to bed. And, there's so much bandwidth out here. And all of a sudden, now we haven't been interrupted once.
It's been literally since when Augie came on. From that point on, you were fine the rest of the show.
So thank you to everyone for bearing with us. If you've watched this live, I'm sorry that this has been the thing. But next time, we're going to have fiber internet out there.
There'll be fiber internet out there, and we'll be fine. We'll
we have in New Jersey.
Wait a second. Someone say vibrate? What? Vibrate?
Not
what?
Vibrate internet.
No.
Vibrate internet.
Okay.
We getting the fancy stuff out here. It's about 100 megabytes per second. What I hear.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
They got to dig it out of the ground, man. Do you know this?
Just put it right under there. There
crazy.
Anyway, all right. Tony, don't stick around. Don't go anywhere. As usual, we'll talk for a couple minutes after we're done. But we'll wrap the show up on that note for today. We want to thank everybody for watching the show, and for those of you that just want to listen to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lageroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and, of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night around 6:30 Eastern Time.
Except for tonight.
Around 6:30 Eastern Time. Yeah, we'll next week will be 6:30. We'll make sure that happens. So for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, thanks. You can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you'll never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. In fact, you can have some tequila, too, while you're at it. Why the hell not? They just did. So there you go. And we will talk to you soon, folks. See you next week. Take care. Cheers.
Buenas noches.